it's like it's almost Christmas. Almost Christmas. It's almost the eve before Christmas Eve, which is also known as New York Giants training camp. Rookies report Tuesday. Veterans and everyone, I guess, is in full swing on Wednesday. I mean, everything's on full swing on Wednesday. But we are so close. We are so close to no longer. I got my coffee. Hold on. We are so close to no longer hearing, well, this guy is going to do this. This guy is going to do that. This guy is going to be the best undrafted free agent wide receiver that we've ever seen since the last great undrafted wide receiver, where this quarterback is going to be the best quarterback in the history of the world. Oh, we are so close away. And Mike Lee sums it up the best. Good morning, Tim. Fellow Cult members. Smash the like button on the way in. But this is perfect, guys. This is the storm. We have been, after winning 3 games and screwing ourselves out of a quarterback again, we have now time to start anew. We're going to be going in there full strength, full board, hoping everyone is ready for this. I know we're going to be ready. We're going to be there day one. If you're out there, say hello. Give us a shout. Maybe I'll drop it. If you have a football, maybe I'll show up Matt Sims and drop a dime. Show out like we always do. Giants among men, so am I. We're all going to be there for training camp. We're all waiting for this because it's been so long. We have CDP3 saying, good morning. It's time. Go Giants. It's time. It is literally time. Coming in, CD3PO is coming in from that other place. Not going to say where. Not going to say where because it knocks you out of everything else when they do that. But it's here. We're going to figure out if Russell Wilson is not just a product of Sierra. Hey-oh. If Jameis Winston is finger licking good. Hey-oh. If Jackson Dart can actually throw the ball when there's a rush or a presence of a defense, not off a boat from an elevated position, not using a non-regulated football. Let me tell you something, guys. I'm going to give you a hint. And I'm not saying the Jackson Dart throw was not a nice throw. I'm just going to give you a hint about this. When you are throwing from an elevated position and you're throwing down, the distance that you perceive or you see from the camera angle is much further than it actually is because it's a depth perception thing because you're here and the target's here. So the camera's depth perception doesn't actually work that way. Just throwing that out there, guys. You know what I might do? I might do the same thing. I could throw the ball off the Empire State Building and make it look like I threw it 1.5 miles. We got to see if the Scataboo is going to be like a caribou and prance through the line. Or is he going to be the ping pong ball that we saw him in college? We're going to see if Tyrone Tracy is going to step it up this year and move to the next level. Captain Matumbo, salutations, Tim. What's your favorite Giant defensive back of all time? Spider Lockhart. I know that's going way back, but that was my father's. So Spider Lockhart was a big name in this. Oh, I got to drink some coffee. Was a big name there too. Vibe says Eli Rack says, I'll be there day one. So will I. Hanging out. Going to get there early. Driving in the night before. Going to get a good night's rest. And then head out to the parking lot. Might stream a little from the parking lot. Haven't decided yet. Haven't decided really if I want to pack all this shit up and take it with me. But Lord knows we might stream from the parking lot. Probably after the camp. After day one, we might stream right from that parking lot. If I decide to do that, it's actually not that difficult to do. It's more that I'm being lazy because we have battery powered generators. So they're and literally it could literally power everything for like 12 hours, if not longer. And it's like this big. So no, maybe we will. Mike Lee says, training camp newsflash, Tim has the best deep ball. I'm going to have the best deep ball there. If you see me in the parking lot, you have a football, maybe I'll throw one to you. So you can say, I caught a pass from Online Big Blue before he wrecked it all for Matt Sims. You never know. But it's time to get away from all the minutia that we've had to deal with now for the last, I don't know, since that final gun of the last game of the season. We finally can get away from that. We can finally turn the page, wipe the slate clean, whatever cliche you want to use. That's what we're going to do. Whatever cliche you have. It is July, so every team in the NFL is 0-0. We are all undefeated. We are all in first place. You never like to give your division rivals any props. But did you see the Super Bowl ring from the Eagles? Damn. That shit was like, first of all, you have the Giants Super Bowl ring. You have the Giants Super Bowl ring. So there you go. I know, pretty big ring, right? The Eagles ring, if compared to the first Eagles ring, is like, it's like this. Let's do it this way. If you looked at it, this was the first Eagle ring. This would be their second one, and then there's a button on it where these fucking wings pop out. And then when they open the box is spinning. I'm sitting there watching this video like, what the hell? It could be one of the gaudiest rings, but I'm Elvis. I like gaudy. Evan says, what does Evan say? No injuries. That's all I ask. Well, that's going to be a big ask because injuries are part of football. Injuries are part of the game. That's why girls don't play the game. And if they did, they go to the WNBA, then ask for all this money that they don't deserve. I love when they were, I'm going to get back to chess, but I love the WNBA because they had their all-star game. Didn't even know they had one. And they're all wearing the shirts. Pay us what we deserve. Okay, you lose $50 million a year. You're subsidized by the NBA. I figured it out by my math. Every WNBA player owes the league about $47,000. So, okay, I'm working with that. Danny says, good morning. And salute, brothers. What's going on? Eli coming back on strong says, Knicks, Giant Sticks revival will be at your stream. Showing support as usual. Eli, I'm going to be looking for you, Eli. I don't know. I'm just joking. I don't know if we're going to stream yet. We might stream. I might stream. I don't know. It's really how we feel. It's also if I want to go home. I live far away, so if I might want to leave. I don't know. But we might bring some equipment. I'll probably end up bringing the laptop. I'll bring the 4K camera. You know what? Actually, we probably could stream real easy. I don't need to bring the soundboard. I can just bring the 4K camera. We have the Rode wireless mic. All right. Maybe we will. Oh no. Stop picking on me. What's up, CDP3? No excuses this year. The offense has to be better, starting with that line. Well, here's the problem. Andrew Thomas looking at that line. But then Eli, then I got to bring a table and then a chair. And I'm not going to take the big car. I'm going to take the small car because it's a long ride. And then I gotta what you call it? Then I gotta set everything up. And I can use the internet off my phone because the Verizon at the stadium is just god awful. Let's just be honest. Trying to get a signal on that Verizon net, that free Verizon network is just god awful. But Andrew Thomas, of course, already came out like a week ago and didn't say he would not be ready. Didn't say any of that. All he said is we're going to try to be ready for the start of the season. Our goal is to be ready. Mike Lee, looks like Lazy Tim is winning. Lazy Tim is winning. You have your good person and your bad person on your shoulders. I have the professional Tim and the lazy Tim. And right now, Lazy Tim is saying, professional Tim, shut the fuck up because I'm about to come across the bus. I'm about to come across. But he came out and said, I'm not 100% sure if I am going to be able, if I'm going to be ready, but the goal is to be ready. But isn't that the goal for everything, is to always be ready for the start of the season? Isn't that the primary goal of football in general? So you have Giant fans freaking out because he is the linchpin of the offensive line. And we really did, outside of Bo and some ancillary free agents that I am not excited about, you really didn't do anything for the offensive line. You didn't do anything at all. Big T, good morning. Hit that like button. Big T, you're going to be around later, T, because I'm going to have some people on later. I'm going to be calling on the crew to come on later. So, but right now, you know what? I have to just do my thing. Greg says Big T, but the offensive line, like I said, the offensive line, to me, you have not massively improved the offensive line. After all the people that Joe Schoen has drafted or brought in, no one's really worked out. You can say Greg Van Roten. You can say John Runyon. To me, John Runyon is like I said. John Runyon was a cast off. If we're going to be honest, John Runyon was a cast off. Big Nichols. Happy to be back, Tim. I'm absolutely optimistic about most of the upgraded positions, except the O-line. Injuries could derail everything. What's up, Big Nichols? I haven't seen you in a while. But you're right. It could literally destroy everything. Not even a joke. It literally could just wreck everything. And you could have, here's the thing, I've said this before, and I'm going to keep saying this till the season is underway. You are an injury away and a 5 interception game away from seeing Jackson Dart in week 3. Russell Wilson is not 27-year-old Russell Wilson. You are going to get a variation of last year's Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh and a year older Russell Wilson. I'm going to break this news to you guys because a lot of people think these players defy logic in reference to age and defy, biology. As you get older, things break down a little bit. So you got to prepare for that. But we are, like I said, an injury and 5 interceptions away from seeing Jackson Dart in week 3. I'm getting nervous for some Giant fans. I was thinking about it. I'm getting nervous from some Giant fans right now because some Giant fans are like, "Ooh, no, we didn't put the thing up. We have to be professional." Believe says I have to be professional. Professionalism is highly overrated. Rank amateurism has got us to where we are now. I got to do this so you can see my hat. Oh, dear Lord. I'm going to go with rank amateurism. I think that works out every time. You know what? I think I like this one better. Hold on. I like this one better. Hold on. Why is that not working? Oh, there we go. All right. Yeah, I'm going to go that one. I like that one better because it's still professional, right? It's still professional. I'm going with still professional. Here we go. But yeah, we are an injury away, and I'm not looking at you, Andrew Thomas, from being not looking at you, 78, from being decimated. Mike Lee says, what does Mike Lee have to say? Mike Lee says, Wildy Coyote put some lipstick on the O-line, and it still sucks. I'm going to try. My other mouse is almost dead here, so I'm going to have to try to use this one. Mark Hernandez, all the way from Barbados, says, good morning, Tim. Let's go, G-Men. Mike Lee says, ask the Jets how well Rodgers worked out. Well, Rodgers was yes, I guess age can be blamed for the Achilles because it is a repetitive stress injury. It's not a turf injury. It's a repetitive stress injury. We've gone through this a bazillion times, but I guess because of the fact that it is a repetitive stress injury in his 40s, yeah. But he did have an okay season last year, just with the Jets were a bad team, unlike the Giants, because we're going to be good this year. You have to be concerned, though, a little about the secondary. I know on paper the secondary has been upgraded. I understand that. I get that. Paulson Adebo, is he going to be at full strength and the player that he was before the injury? I don't know. Tay Banks, now going to be a second season removed from the Wink Martindale system, which he excelled in. Is he going to come in with a better attitude And is he going to fit more into a scheme that he doesn't really fit in, or is Shane Bowen going to change the scheme? Is Holland, who was a top 10 safety 2 years ago, who fell out of the top 10 and had such a regression, is he going to be the player 2 years ago from Miami or last year's Miami? Dane Belton. Anytime you have Dane Belton and Cordell Flott on your team and in your secondary and potentially to be in the mix to do something, you're in a lot of trouble. Yeah, and I know Corey Black, young Ryan from Ryan's Big Blue Podcast, loves Corey Black. We had a conversation about Corey Black yesterday. He's a fan of Corey Black. I don't see it. I broke down some of his Oklahoma State games, and that didn't go well. But your secondary, while on paper is upgraded, there's still some issues. There's still some question marks. Same with your defensive line. Your pillar of your line, of course, is Dexter Lawrence. But then you now have 3 defensive ends, which all do the exact same thing. Undersized, don't play the run well, and can rush the passer at times. I like the over exuberance of confidence that our friend Abdul Carter has. When he posted that video about him dropping back in coverage and laying out that guy, I was like, oh yeah, okay. And he's been posting all this stuff. And he says, not everyone can do that. Well, not everyone can have a 25.9% missed tackle percentage their second season in college. Do we not want to show any of the 25.9% missed tackles that you had your second year in college? And how your first 2 seasons at Penn State as an off-the-ball linebacker did not equal one season that Parsons had when he did not start any games as a freshman and still led the team in tackles. Thanks, OGR Sports. Different game, Abdul. College and pros, you're going to find out real quick, is a different game. Dave says, how come you're not wearing your Eagles gear? Because it's a giant show. You know that. The real Lou Ferrigno says, everything is a question till we see something on the field. Thank you, Lou. Lou's got it. Lou nailed it. Everything is a question mark until you see something. And honestly, everything is still a question mark in camp until you perform in a preseason game. Everything's still a question mark in preseason until you prove yourself in a regular season game. We have seen so many in the annals of NFL history, so many different guys have wonderful preseasons, wonderful training camps, flame out once the season started. Remember Hawkins? Remember Tay Hawkins? I had to hear all through that rookie camp how he was going to be something special. Then he looked beyond burnt toast, because we found out that he really wasn't ready for prime time. That's just in recent memory. But there's plenty of players in the NFL history that just you're not ready yet, which is fine. But let's do what we need to do. James Stein says, I can't wait for the football to start. Let's go, Giants. I can't wait for the first preseason game. First preseason game, what is it, August 8th or 9th? In Buffalo. We are shuffling off to Buffalo. I will be there in Buffalo. I'm not even going to tell you how far of a ride it is, but I'm going to drive to Buffalo to watch the Giants open preseason, because Jackson Dart is going to play. Jackson Dart should play extensively. This is my thing. You didn't play Daniel Jones in preseason when you should have. We always talk about that. He got that one drive a couple years ago with Darren Waller. You need to start playing your offense, and you need to play Jackson Dart. You need to you need to play Jackson Dart like 70% of the snaps. Tommy DeVito's a camp arm now. He's not going to be on the team. If you want to get Jackson Dart ready for anything for 2025, he has to play continuously in preseason. People then are going to be like, well, he might get injured. Well, so then what you want to do is you want him to get his experience during the regular season when the games count. Why would we want to get his experience when the games don't count? And it's like a glorified practice, like the WNBA games. Hey-oh. Mark says Abdul's getting coached up right now. I just want everyone to understand this. And we've talked to NFL players. We've had NFL players on that talked about recently that have talked about Abdul Carter. And most of them say the same thing. He's not an off-the-ball linebacker. You are going to be sore. They have told me you are going to be sorely disappointed if you think that he is going to be an off-the-ball linebacker. We had to hear about the versatility of Brian Burns. What about Brian Burns? We had to hear about the versatility and how he was going to, he's going to be all over the field. Well, last year he only played 26 plays off the line of scrimmage because he's not an off-the-ball linebacker. He's not a cover guy. It is going to be hellaciously different when Abdul Carter has to drop back into coverage. When he has to, let's be honest. Look at his career at Penn State. Abdul Carter is not a good tackler. He's not. He's not good in space, and he's not good in the open field. He's good at rushing the passer. So most of the people that we've talked about abroad and have said that Abdul Carter may only play 30% of the snaps, and he'll be maybe 40, and he will be a pass rushing specialist because that's the way he can make an immediate impact. But if you think he's going to be an off the ball, mark this down. 10/22 Sunday, July 20th. He's not. He is going to get exposed in the linebacker position. Just letting people know this. Let's all be. Evan says there's not one aspect of the team we should be fully confident in. It's a wait and see approach. Evan, you nailed it. It's a wait and see approach. We have to wait to see if the offensive line gels. We have to wait to see if we have a tight end on this roster. We have to wait and see if Cam Scatterboo and Tyrone Tracy are both going to be NFL running backs. We have to wait and see if age has not caught up to Russell Wilson. We have to wait and see if Jackson Dart is ready for prime time. That's just on the offense. But you're right. It's day one is Wednesday. Day one is Wednesday. And that's going to be exciting. I'm pumped up. I'm going to be going out there, going to meet some people. I know a bunch of people that are going. I'm going to say hi to a bunch of people. We're going to go out and have a good time. And we're just going to enjoy the experience of the first day of training camp. We might head back on Friday. I don't know. Definitely probably back on the weekend. We have tickets for most of the training camp. So we're going to go. We're going to wait and see. We're going to sit there because you know what? And then I'm not going to get there and be one of these people that gets overly excited if something good happens on one play. And I'm also not going to get overly depressed if there's interceptions. We've said it before. There was a different perception from the NFL media and the Giants media about how Jackson Dart performed. NFL media, well, I should rephrase that. Giant media would put out these plays and they would be like, oh, look at that great play. But then you would find out from the regular media, he really went 5 for 10 for 3 interceptions. So there's a different perception. So like I've said this before, just let the kid grow into his position. Just let him be what he needs to be. And that's fine. Because at the end of the day, he's going to have the right approach. He's going to have the right idea. He's hopefully going to have the right coaching, Jackson Dart. And we're going to move forward that way. Big Nickel says quarterback play, QB play might be upgraded just enough that we may go from a 5-win team to a 7-8-win team as long as the O-line can give the defense a rest. It's going to be interesting because we've talked about how Kafka is taking over the play calling again this year. Brian Dale for 2 years has been horrendous calling plays. And again, we did a show. I don't know if you saw it, Giants Generations. I did a show with young Ryan. Oh, I think it's going to come out. I think it's coming out tomorrow, where we talk about the difference between the Kafka offense and the Brian Dable offense, and how everyone was saying how great the Kafka offense was until I told him to go back and look, young Ryan, at the actual Kafka offense where we ranked compared to the Dable offense. Now, while it was slightly better, it's not any better. There needs to be this growth. There needs to be this imagination of some type of creation of an offense for the Giants because it has been so stale and stagnant for years. At one point in time, I've said it before, I was hoping for, I was dreaming of that we brought back Jason Garrett. because of the fact that it was just so god awful for such an extended period of time. You were like, please, for the love of God, just bring back Jason Garrett. Because of the fact that it was just so. That's audio feedback there. Hold on, let me take that off. But you just wanted something different. You had Malik Neighbors, and everything seemed to be a dink and dunk. He's 6 yards off the line of scrimmage. But don't worry though, Jalen Hyatt's bulked up. Jalen Hyatt has found. If you are Jalen Hyatt, I'm gonna give him a word of advice. To sit there and say, I was only 170 pounds, now I'm 190 because I found my way out of the darkness. There's people that are going through like real hardship in life. You not being able to catch a football does not really rank in reference to out of the darkness. Sorry, dude. It's nut up or shut up time for Jalen Hyatt. It really is. Because you came in. Listen, I am and still am a big Jalen Hyatt fan. I loved him coming out of Tennessee. I thought that he had moments that rookie season where he showed something, but he still had problems getting off the line of scrimmage. He still had problems getting into his routes faster than He still had issues doing that. And I love it because people are like, well, they never throw him the ball. Well, here's the problem. When they did throw him the ball, he had a catch percentage of 40%. That means that a catch percentage is what they refer to off of a catchable ball. Not just the amount of times the balls are thrown. So it was a catchable ball. He only caught it 40% of the time. So Jalen, we're going to say it again.
Time to nut up or shut up.
We're gonna tell you this. It's time, Jalen. James Stein said, I hope this team is better than last year's because teams last year's really sucked. Let's hope this doesn't turn into a shit show. It's what's up, Big Blue for Life? What's up, my brother? How you doing? Where you been? I haven't talked to you in a while. Text me. Big Blue for Life. Text me. Okay. You have the number. Your picture comes up on my phone. Text me. But here's the thing, James. It's day one. It's going to be day one. Everyone just needs to just go, woosah. Everyone has to have a woosah moment. Because you think of it this way. You're going into camp. Let's look this out here. You're going into camp. Why? I don't care about my notifications. You're going into camp. Camp is in full swing on the 23rd. Your first preseason game from camp is 2.5 weeks away. That's when your first preseason game is going to be on August 9th. So you're 2.5 weeks away from your very first preseason game after your first day of camp on Wednesday. So we have 2.5 weeks to start implementing the game plan, getting everything ready. That's what we have time for. We have 2.5 weeks to do this, which is fine. And like I said, I want to see the Russell Wilson offense for the first two series. If you want to bring in Jameis Winston for a series or two, fine. But then the rest of the game, I want to see number 6. I want to see Jackson Dart the whole rest of the game. And I want to see him throwing in the fucking parking lot. Let's see. What does Mike Lee have to say here? I think the ball boys are ready. I hope the ball boys are ready because I got a big job. Razzle the Great says, smash that like button. Yes, please do. Mike Lee says, over under. How many fans at training camp will be dressed up like pirates? The pirate chest thing seemed to subside. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. If you're going to training camp and you're dressed up as a pirate, it's because you are searching for attention. You're crying out for it. You're crying out for attention. So, but I'm gonna say at least 10. I'm gonna go at least 10. There we go. Big Blue. We got Big Blue for life. There we go, my brother. Always looking dapper. Razzle the Great says, "What is it? This is what it's like. Hopefully, when you rebuild properly, O-line, D-line needs to be competent this year, period." They do. Here's the thing. We've always heard this. You win with defense, but you also need to have the hog mollies in the trenches. Do we have them on this team? I still have this pit in my stomach about the Giants' run defense. You went out and got Darius Alexander. I've said this before. I have no problem with Darius Alexander. Joe Shane said he is an athletic pass rusher. He's not a run stuffer. He's an athletic pass rusher. So is he going to be a running mate that we now, like I said before, it was Daniel Jones needed weapons. Dexter Lawrence now needs a running mate. We always have to have something. We always just have to have something. I don't know why. But I am worried that a guy that is the 12th in a defensive tackle draft, he was the 12th defensive tackle taken. There's a reason. There's a reason there, okay? And I know people don't want to talk about it, but there's a reason. So I still worry. And then you brought in the likes of Abdul Carter, and I'm looking at it like going, you really haven't improved your run defense. If anything, you may have weakened it a little bit because you really did not address, once again, the linebacker position. And that's a position that we need to figure out. You even had Blake Martinez come out and say that he's seeing some things in Bobby Okereke he doesn't like. And he would know because Blake Martinez is one of those guys that 150 plus tackles then fell off the planet. So he would know. Pokemon Go would know. Razzle grades it. Dable needs to never call plays. Listen, I think it is now. I think the jury is somewhat still out if Brian Dable can be an effective head coach, be more like a CEO. I think the jury is 100% in that Brian Dable is not an offensive coordinator outside of having Josh Allen. Every place that he has gone in the pros outside of Buffalo, when he did not have Josh Allen, he either did not get his contract renewed or he got fired. He got fired by his mentor. What does that tell you? So I think the jury is 100% in that Brian Dable is not an offensive coordinator outside. He is not this genius outside of the likes of Josh Allen. And then the question is this. Daniel Jones' best season technically came with Mike Kafka at the helm of the as the offensive coordinator. And he still only threw for 3,000 yards and 15 touchdowns. I have yet to see Brian Dable turn anyone's career around in reference to being a quarterback. So the jury is still out as if he's going to be a good head coach. Listen, Fat Dable seems to be on the way back. We were 7-2 with Fat Dable. We were 2-5-1, 6-11, and 3-14 with Skinny Dable. What does that tell you? Load up on the motherfucking pasta. Jay Sportscar says we need to let Dante Turbo loose. He needs some turbo. You know what's funny about Turbo? And this is going back to last year. All the speed in the world. Dante Miller has wonderful straight line speed. But I'm going to rephrase. I'm going to say this again. Dante Miller has wonderful straight line speed. The problem is the NFL is not played in a straight line. Anytime he had to juke or move or get around a defender, he got knocked down. If you can't flip the switch for the Jets, the turbos don't work. So, I would still say maybe there's some help with, I don't know. It's all the libs' fault. It always is. You know that. Let's see. James Stein says, hopefully the D-line and O-line one day stay healthy to perform at 11, rank in the top 20, end of story. Well, your D-line gave up over 2,000 yards last year and 15 plus touchdowns. And your O-line last year was better at times. It's just you had a failure at the quarterback position. So I don't know. Is there a massive improvement in the offensive line? I don't see it. Should there be concerns that Evan Neal could potentially be a starter? Oh yeah. Could you be relying on the lengths of Van Roten again? Possibility. Is the Elmore Fudd going to be played at the same level? I don't know. Is he going to be a year older? Yep. it's going to be an interesting story to tell. Tim, the libs are like Daniel Jones supporters. They are vanquished throughout. Why harp on them so much? I don't harp on anyone. Let's see here. What do we got here? So we got another one. How many yards do you think you can throw a football with Matt Sims 24? Oh, in the air? No. In the air? Right now, I got a problem with my thumb though. I got a problem with, and it goes all the way down my hand. You can see it. I got a thing there on my thumb that goes all the way down. I smashed it. I'm good for a minimum of 35 yards in the air. Minimum 35 yards. Right now, I can't grip a ball because I smashed my thumb and it hurts all the way down to here. I don't know what I was trying to put on a new hydraulic on the tailgate on one of the trucks, and of course they don't give you a screw thing that get the bolt off. So of course I tried doing what men do. I tried every other tool in the toolbox, and then I went like this and smashed my hand. But no, I'm good for at least 35 yards. Big Blue says it is difficult to accurately gauge the Giants offense in the past due to the incompetence of the quarterback position. This season should give us an indication on what we have. Oh, I agree. I think, and you should have this thought process in your mind that you're going to be better at the quarterback position anyways because of the fact that you have Russell Wilson. Hell, you should think, I take some pills. You should be hopeful and think that you are going to have a good, even a better quarterback position with Jameis Winston. You should hope that Jackson Dart is better than Tommy DeVito. So there, we'll be all right. Some WM players are actually really pretty. Okay, well, here's the problem, Davey. Sometimes I watch these WNBA games and I'm flipping around for ESPN 47 Deportes to see if I can find high school JV basketball. I love it because they have this clip on I think it's on TikTok. And it's a WNBA player, and she's like 6'6" or 6'4" or something like that. And she plays against a former D3 guard who is like 5'7". And this guy smoked her ass. And then at one point in time, when she couldn't bully him, any play after that was a foul. He would go up for a shot, foul. He would stop her from scoring, foul. I was like, oh God, this is just like being on the playground. Yo, Manuel, what's up? I haven't seen Mr. Reese in a while. Jay says also our D-line isn't great. We need a guard with power who can mow down guys. Too much finesse, weak. Well, you have we have Evan Neal. We have Evan Neal. We're good. We got Evan Neal. Big mouth. Listen, in practicality, Evan Neal is not Eric Flowers. Evan Neal has a better attitude and practicality. Evan Neal has more size and strength than Flowers. Evan Neal should, if he wants to continue his career and maybe excel and get into that second contract, should be able to play an interior line position. He has the size, he has the strength. The issue is he does not have the speed and he does not get into his stance quick enough. Those are problems. Those are big problems when you are playing on the edge. When you are the interior lineman, those problems can be mitigated. Those issues can be mitigated a little bit. But here's the problem. And here will always be the problem. Will he have the willingness and the fortitude to say, listen, I'm never going to get left tackle money. Getting guard money, yeah, I may only get 7 to 10 million instead of the 20 plus, but that's still better than flipping burgers. Ho! Oh, we're in preseason form, guys. James Stein says, what you're saying, Carter kind of sucks. So why did Jay Shane pick 3? Now I'm starting to worry about this team. I'm not saying that Abdul Carter sucks. And I've asked this question on the last week's live stream. Name me a team who had 2 first-round picks who may only see the field. One player taken in the top 3 may only see the field 30-40% of the time, and another pick that may never see the field at all. When is the last time in NFL history a team has done that? I have never seen. Listen, I think Abdul Carter will be a disruptive force on the pass rush, in the pass rush, yes. But I think he's going to be overmatched at times in the run. I think he's over aggressive is going to be used against him by smart NFL quarterbacks. And like I said, when Jerry Oslowski was on, the former 10-year Bill offensive line, he said it best. And he's a huge Penn State fan. He said, you're only going to play Abdul Carter 30-40% of the time. He said the same thing. I have never seen a team take a guy in the top 3 that you'll be happy if he plays 40% of the snaps. Because Jerry, who is a former NFL player and watches and a huge Penn State fan, said the same thing. He is not a linebacker. And we are going to find out quickly that he is going to get exposed in the linebacker position. But he is a disruptive force going after the quarterback, which will allow other players, hopefully Kayvon Thibodeau and Brian Burns, to also get to the quarterback. So your pass rush can be destructive at times, but you are going to have to worry and you're going to have to feel that you're going to play within control. Because if you don't, teams are going to take advantage of your over aggressiveness and for big plays. That's all there is to it. But if you play within yourself.
That's what she said.
Play in control, maintain your assignments, you're going to be fine. Fingers crossed. Davey says, are we a 4-3 or a 3-4 defense? Shane Bowen likes to generate his rush with 3 guys. We've talked about this going back all the way to whatever the hell it's called, all the way to Tennessee. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to be. And I'm kind of hoping that Shane Bowen reinvents himself as a defensive coordinator. Jay Ferris says Carter might be nasty as a pass rusher. Can he tackle? Can he stop a running back on the flat on his own? No. If you go back to the body of work, not the number of tackles, but if you go back by the body of work at Penn State, those first 2 seasons as an off-the-ball linebacker, no. If he stayed at the off-the-ball linebacker position and came out this year, he probably would have gone anywhere between the 4th to the 7th round. He would not have been the 3rd overall pick. And that's not me trying to be mean. That's just called being what we're going to be honest about. Let's see here. Danny, what's up, Danny? It's 35, a grown-ass man. Damn, Timmy, noodle arm. No. He said effectively now 35 yards in the air. He said effectively now. See, I got a busted thumb. I literally got a busted thumb. But I can still throw the ball 35 yards in the air. Easy. Oh yeah, it's gonna get ugly for Matt. It's gonna get ugly for Matt. Don't worry about it. Davey says your thumb hurts and you want to be signed by Furman. Yeah, but I'll be fine. I'll heal up. I gotta find the ice packs. I'm only worried because this tendon all the way down here is bugging the hell out of me. It's going all the way up my forearm. That's all right. I'm a man. That's always it. Jay Ferris says the problem with all the players you're right, always injured. I agree. I agree. Greg says the heat wave in Sweden has me. Okay, that was wrong. That was wrong, but funny, Greg. That was wrong. Davey says, so when you worked for Tampa, did you get? No, it was I came in the year after they won the Super Bowl. I came in the year where they went 7-9, 6-11. So no. I do like Jay's Ferris says there's black people in Sweden. James Stein says I hope Andrew Thomas is ready for game 1 and then he can stay healthy for 15 games. That'd be great. If not, then we need to search for a compliment for replacement at the end of story. Here's the thing with 2 years ago. This is funny. We don't talk about this a lot. 2 years ago, Andrew Thomas, Pro Bowler, All Pro. But then the injuries have always been there. The foot injuries have always been there. They're starting to creep up a little bit more. He's only 26? But the injuries are starting to creep up a little bit. And that's what you need to be concerned about as a Giant fan, that these injuries are occurring more and more. Can he stay healthy? Contractually, we can move on from him next year, still gain cap space and still have a dead cap number, but we could move on from him. But are you going to give up on a former All-Pro Pro Bowl left tackle at 27? Or do you continuously hope? You know what's scary, and I was thinking about it as a baseball analogy. But this player was more towards the end of his career. This is kind of a David Wright scenario. That's what I was thinking about. This is kind of David Wright-esque. David Wright got that big contract. Then all of a sudden the injuries started to creep in. He went from 2014, we had 42 homers and 115 RBIs, where then he only played, the next year, I think it was, I forget what it was. I forget what it was. But then like the next year, he only played 38 games, 37 games, and then 2 games. So is he heading the David Wright direction at a younger age? I don't know yet. Mike Lee says, didn't Brian Burns play better than Kayvon Thibodeau? Yes, actually, Brian Burns did play better when Kayvon Thibodeau was out. That is a very astute observation, because everyone, I'm trying to think of the better way to say this. Sometimes when you have multiple guys that do the same thing, sometimes if you have them all in the field at the same time, they kind of equalize themselves out. And this is kind of my fear with Abdul Carter. You have Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, and Kayvon Thibodeau are almost carbon copy players. So out of the 11 guys at one point in time, we are going to have almost 30% of our personnel on the field the same players that do the same things. And then teams are going to figure out, okay, listen, all 3 are in. Are they going to rush, or are they going to do something stupid to try to drop one of these guys in coverage? Because then I'm going to the tight end. I'm going to the running back. I'm going out to the flat. I'm running a draw. I'm going to call a bubble screen. I can, if I'm a smart quarterback, these are the things I'm looking at. Everyone thinks that, not everyone, I shouldn't paint with a broad brush, but a lot of people think you can, that if you're the Giants defense and you're playing all these 3 guys, that the offense that we're playing against, all of them are stupid. They're not going to figure out when all 3 of them are in there, they're probably going to rush, or they're going to fake the rush and drop one guy into coverage, which means I'm going to have an ability of certain parts of the field. If I'm good at reading the field, I have the ability to expose that player, because I've already accounted. Because that's why they call it the mic. I've already accounted, let's say, for the other 2 guys, and I think one guy's going to drop into coverage. I'm going to exploit the one guy and shift my line or my pass protection to where I think where the rush is coming from. Ask Me says, dude, some dude monopolizing the chat again. Like, have a good Sunday, Timmy. I'm not here to listen to all of his comments. Most of them are pretty dumb. Well, that's why I just jump around people. That's why I jump. Good morning, Big Mike. What's going on, Mike? I hope I see you in the chat again. I was wondering what you were doing. Dan the Man. Jay Ferris is a very heavy offensive too. Probably want to make him look way better. Everyone be nice to Jay. Everyone be nice. Dan, man, what movie should I watch last night? I don't know what you should watch. I don't watch any movies last night. I was working last night. Oh, you know what? I don't know. I didn't see T Brad. T, are you around? I haven't seen you on. I'm gonna put the link in the chat because I want to see my friends. Where is everybody? Let's talk. I haven't even seen Trenton. I haven't seen Mr. Taz, but I'm going to put the link in the chat because we've already talked an hour. I want to talk to my friends. I want to talk to everyone out there, see who is ready for some football. Who's ready? I know I'm ready. Make sure I drink a little water. Got to stay hydrated. Got to stay hydrated for camp. That is going to be another important thing to do. If you're going to camp, it's going to be hydration. Not a hydrangea, but hydration. We gotta make sure that we're all ready for this extravaganza. Sorry, Dave. It's okay, Dave. You can't. But hydration. Oh my goodness gracious! We gotta make sure that we're all ready. We have these. My soundboard has been acting up lately, and I'm getting a little concerned that I'm gonna have to get a new soundboard. And honestly, I don't want to get a new soundboard. But I'm getting a little concerned that we may be heading towards that direction. But let me see if I can fix this real quick here. Anyone see that wonderful Jackson Dart short? Is Jackson Dart ready to compete in 2025? I think that was a great short. Davey says, I'm a friend, but sorry, I can't chat today. It's all right. I was looking for T-Brad. I don't know where James must have had a good night because James is still asleep somewhere. James is tuckered out somewhere. James is resting on his laurels. That's why I love my brother James. LA Confidential. That was a good movie. Good movie. But I'm not talking about movies. I want to talk about the Giants. I also wanted to talk about the tight end position for a moment. Because we all talk about the effectiveness of the running game. We all talk about the effectiveness of potentially Jackson Dart, but we're not talking about the effectiveness of the tight end position. You grab the kid in the 6th round. Another guy that to me is he is a straight line player. If you looked at him in college, he is a straight line player. That is not conducive to the NFL being a straight line guy. Mike says, I'm working every day, counting the days until week 1. I'm more excited this year than the past few years. At least we have a quarterback who knows how to play the position, even if he is old. Age is not the problem. I'm going to go back to the tight end for a second. I'm going to go back to the tight end, but I'm going to get to Michael here first. Age is not the problem with Russell Wilson. Because Russell Wilson can still be an effective quarterback, even at 36, 37. Here's the problem. Here's the problem. What we need to talk about Russell Wilson is it is the perception of Giant fans and what they feel he should be doing at 36, 37. You have a lot of fans, Mike, that are like, you know what the thing is with Russ? I always love this. You know what the thing is? And he goes, I think he's going to do this. Well, no, he's not going to do what he did years ago. He is going to be Russell Wilson from the last couple of years. So I think it's going to be the perception of Giant fans of which Russell Wilson they're getting. I don't think age is going to be a factor for Russell Wilson because he is an older quarterback. So he is going to be more of the, 63% completion, 2,400 yards, 16 touchdowns, 5 interception guy that he was last year. Then he is going to be the 4,000 yards, 68% completion, 34 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions that he was in 2025. So he's not going to be that quarterback from 10 years ago, which was the fourth year in the league. He's going to be the guy that we got with the Steelers. That's what he's going to be. That's who he's going to be. People forget that he did not have a horrible season that year with the Broncos. He just had issues with Sean Payton. And Sean Payton kind of had issues with him. So the question is, this is going to be the question. Are fans going to be Giant fans? Are they going to be happy with the 36-plus-year-old Russell Wilson? Or are they thinking they're getting the 25-year-old Russell Wilson? I'm happy if we got the Steeler Russell Wilson because in my mind, he should at least be better than what we had last year. In theory, he should be better. Is he going to take a Herculean drop? I don't know. I don't think so. I hope not. God, I hope not. Let's see here. Oh, Jay Ferris. I watched The Natural the other night. Good gracious, what a smoke show. I love The Natural. Roy Hobbs, one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite movies. Mike Lee says the fans think they're getting Seattle Russell Wilson and not Steelers Russell Wilson. That's what you gotta kind of look at, Mike Lee. That's exactly what you have to look at. Because, like I said, I've seen it before. The day we signed Russell Wilson, we had all these fans, or a couple fans, reposting video of his highlights, Russell Wilson. And they're like, ooh, look how dynamic he is. Look how he's running away from this guy. Look how he's doing this. And then I had to point out that's Will Wolfork. That's from his rookie. That's Russell Wilson's rookie season. We're not getting 20-year-old Russell Wilson. So T-Brad, if you're here, come on. I haven't talked to you in a long time. We got a new season. There you go, T. I think James was out last night doing stuff because I haven't seen James all day. But T, I haven't talked to you in a long time, T. So come on, come on down. But that's the thing. They were posting highlights of his rookie season in Seattle. I wish we were getting that guy, but why don't you post the 2-5-1 Russell Wilson, or not? Whatever it was, a 3-5 Russell Wilson. Post those highlights. He's good enough to. Russell Wilson at this age is good enough to win games, but is he going to be healthy? Is he going to have the time? And is he going to have the complement of wide receivers, tight ends, and running backs that will allow him to be successful? That's going to be the question. Kevin, peace, Tim, hope all is well. Sublight says it's just like the Giants to stand up for themselves when other teams clown them like Mayfield did. Oh, James, get your ass in this chat. Sorry, Ghost Rider, the pattern's full. What's up, Big James? Black Ice. Hold on. I'm putting James. I already put the link in the chat. I'm waiting for James. I was waiting for T, Brad. Sometimes I just think I do streams because I want to see people that I haven't seen and talked to in a while. If you don't know, there's a big new show coming out. There's 2 of them I have. If you didn't know this already, so I'm going to let everyone know. I'm a busy person. We have 2 new podcasts. We have New York Giants Generations. That's, of course, with the show that I do with young Ryan from Ryan's Big Blue Podcast, where we talk about everything from a generational perspective. We did a great training camp video yesterday, and starting in the next couple of weeks, we should have the first shorts out, I think today or tomorrow. We have balls, bats, and bad decisions, unscripted, unqualified, unapologetic, talking about every sport. That's probably looks like that's mainly just a podcast. So make sure you stay tuned for that. That's going to drop out. I think the first short drops out on Monday, or it might drop today. I don't know. But then we have full episodes coming out. We actually have multiple guest hosts that we are trying out on the show. So we're going to have like 6 people that we're trying out. And then what's going to happen is we're going to take the best of the 6 people, and then we're going to kind of make them be the co-host of the show as well. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Let's see here. Black Ice, you have the ball. Slider, call the ball. Where is Slider? Hit that like button, says Big James. T. Brad says, I am ready to put Jackson Dart in the Hall of Fame. If you've seen some of the AI generated pictures on Twitter, it makes me laugh because I'm looking at this stuff and going, they had one where they had Scattaboo, Abdul Carter, and Jackson Dart with holding up the Super Bowl trophy, the Lombardi trophy. And I'm looking at this and I'm laughing. I think James sent it to me. And I was like, you have to be shitting me. Really? I was like, really? Hershreal says, hello, Tim. Hershreal says, let's see, salute to the chat. James, I'm waiting for you. Put the link in. Paying for my tea, and I'll jump in. Paying for your tea. When did we get to England? Or maybe you are in England. I don't know. Hershreal says, hello, James. Michael Villanueva also said, why did I call you Villanueva? I was thinking of Carlos Villanueva. I don't know why. Yeah, I know we're getting young. I'm not getting wrong Wilson, but even Tyrod Taylor, the offense looked better with a quarterback that's not afraid to throw it downfield. No, I agree. I agree 100%. If you are you need to lack fear as a quarterback, and just in life in general. I feel they always said that fear is a great driver, but fear is also something that can stop you from doing something you really want to do. The fear of failure, the fear of not looking good doing something. And I think Daniel Jones had that fear. Ricky Bobby drove with the fear. Daniel Jones, not so much. Daniel Jones let the fear consume him. And that's the thing. If you are afraid to let it fly, if you are afraid to throw the ball down the field, that's living with the fear and letting it consume you. Russell Wilson, I don't think, has that fear. Tyrod Taylor did not have that fear. We know Jameis Winston. If you want a quarterback that has no fear in reference to looking stupid and doing boneheaded things, that's Jameis Winston. We have the ultimate non-fear related quarterback. in Jameis Winston. James Stein said, yeah, that Tampa game was an embarrassment to say the least. We need to be a stronger team going forward. Listen, the Sergeant Day AM. Oh, I knew that was going to come up. Yeah, the Tampa game was an embarrassment. I was at that Tampa game. That was an embarrassment. We were thoroughly and literally embarrassed by Russell Wilson, by Baker. We were. And the problem was this, we had basically disparaged Mr. Baker. He had the spat, of course, with Daniel Jones, which he wasn't wrong about, but he kind of showed us up. He showed us out, and he called it a day. I'm going to get to Sergeant here. Russell Wilson had a 400-yard game with the Steelers against Cincinnati. Yes. Who, Sergeant Day AM, who had the worst defense in the league? Who gave up the most 40-point games, the most 36-point games, or 30-point games, and the most 20-plus point games? Which team in the league? Oh, wait. Oh, the Bengals. So after his 400-yard explosion against the Bengals, he had Russell Wilson, 158, 128, 217, 205, 148. After that explosion, he had 6 touchdowns and 2 interceptions in his last 5 games. And the last game of the season, which he played, they lost 17-19. He threw for only 150, 148, and only 53% of his passes were complete. And I'm trying to remember what team that was against. Oh, the Cincinnati Bengals. I forgot. Jay Ferris says, according to X and Messengers board, Scatterboo and Bo are John Riggins and Orlando Pace. Yeah. Yeah. I see shit like that. Scatterboo is and that's the thing. Scatterboo is not much bigger than Eric Gray. I mean, if you look at it, he's not much bigger than Eric Gray. If you know anything about John Riggins, or John Riggins just in general, John Riggins for his time when he played in the 70s and the 80s, he ran for over 1,200 yards. I think 100. I forget how many touchdowns. I think 104 touchdowns or something like that. But he was a big man at the running. He was the first big man, true big man in the running back position, and he was about 6'2", 230 pounds. So our wonderful Cam Scatterboo, who we don't know what we have yet in Cam Scatterboo, let's just be honest. So when people, and I laugh because I see things like that. Cam Scatterboo is about 5'11", 215 pounds. And that's probably a different 5'11" measuring system. Everyone's saying, what's up, Ferris? What's up, Big J? James Jones. What is James? Joseph James. Why am I saying James? Joseph said the Giants have the worst tight end group in the NFL. Good job or roster construction, Joe. We do have the worst tight ends situation. 1,000%. That's why I said if you drafted Abdul Carter, I would have taken Kayvon Thibodeau and traded him for Kyle Pitts. And yeah, you may have only had Kyle Pitts on a 1-year rental, but if you could convince him to be part of the Dable offense and Jackson Dart, you literally could. You need a tight end. Dable is not known for proficiently using his tight end position. He's not. Dane Bellinger's not your guy. Theo Johnson is really not your guy. Let's be honest. He's not. The kid we took in the 7th round, 6th round, no. We need a safety valve. And I've said this a million times before. And this was my theory, and this was my logic for drafting or trading or taking Tyler Warren or trading for a tight end, a quality tight end. You have a secondary safety valve. Wan'Dale Robinson basically to me is a Darren Sproles type player without the explosiveness. You're going to get him the ball 3 yards off the line of scrimmage. He's only going to get 2 yards. He's only going to get a 2-yard yak. And we saw that he had the quietest 90 reception season I have ever seen in the history of the NFL. So he's not going to give you much. If you have an explosive tight end, if you have now I'm not going to say a game changer at the tight end position would be great, but if you have a tight end that can help alter plays at different points of times, that's going to open up the entire field. That's why I said before, I would have traded out of that spot, grabbed Ty Warren, got some additional assets, and picked up a running back earlier in the draft, and you still could have got a project quarterback. Because if I have a tight end that has the ability to stretch the middle of the field, has the ability to have either the defensive back or the linebacker or whomever collapse towards the middle of the field, if I'm doing this, what's happening over here? What's happening on there? You're opening up the sidelines. Who's on the sideline? Oh, some guy wearing number 1. So if you have the threat in the middle of the field that draws the defense more towards that player, or you assign a player, you are hopefully dropping one-on-one coverage on the outside, which in turn, if you're opening up the middle of that field and you send him out, let's say you send him out on a block and flare, and you send him out and the linebacker or the safety follows him and it's a run, you've opened up a hole in the middle of the field. Instead, teams are going to be like, I'm just going to double cover the guy over here. And I'm wearing number 1, maybe bring safety over for help. Because I'm not worried about anyone in the middle of the field. Because they don't have a tight end. They don't know how to utilize the tight end. Dan the Man says, I'm sitting here thinking the Wilson's path is similar to Warren, but just stop me with the weapons comment. Cards had Fitzgerald and Bolden and a pretty good 3 in Brisson. Also, wasn't Edgerrin James also part of that team too? Yeah, he is a sleeper at tight end. Most players taken in the 6th round are a sleeper. He was a sneaky good. He was very good, actually. Dan the Man says, yep. Mike Lee says, Nets have a cursed organization since they joined. Yeah, they have. The Nets have. Why are we talking about the Nets? I think Kurt Warner had better leadership. There's a lot of off the field stuff, Wilson. That's weird. I don't think there's a lot of stuff. I don't think there's really a lot of off the field stuff with Wilson. That's weird. I don't think that. I don't think that at all. I just think that he's kind of a geeky guy. He's kind of a metrosexual, geeky type guy. Here's the problem, though. Russell Wilson has a tendency to wear his welcome out when he goes places. We had Howard Eskin on the I call legendary Philadelphia broadcaster because he's been around since the 70s. He basically told stories on the one podcast we did with him. He told stories about Russell Wilson and how when they had that playoff game against Philadelphia, they held up the entire plane for Russell Wilson because he didn't like the food on the plane. And they held up the entire flight back to Seattle because he wanted something else to eat. He talked about the fact that Sean Payton was kind of disgusted with Russell Wilson because Russell Wilson had to have an office in the building over in Denver. He had to have his own office. He does things that if you're not winning, it's gonna tick people off. It's gonna tick people off a little bit. Jay Ferris says, I don't think Wilson is bad. It's just the stuff that people don't see that gets him the boot from teams. Yeah, I just literally talked about that. Mike Lee says, fear is a great motivator as long as you overcome it. That's the thing. You have to overcome your fears. And at the end of the day, if you don't, you're going to be Daniel Jones, and you're going to end up competing with Anthony Richardson over with the Colts. But you have to overcome your fears. You have to just, you know what? You have to throw it. Eli Manning, we've talked about this before. Eli Manning was spectacular at this. He threw the ball, called it a day. Interception, oh shucks. Eli Manning face, I'm going out the next series. Russell Wilson, I don't think Russell Wilson has been exactly the same quarterback since that era in the Super Bowl. I don't think he's living with the fear, but I don't think he's the same guy. It hasn't been the same guy for years. Jameis Winston has that great mindset. Jameis Winston, we've talked about it before. His last full season as a starter in Tampa, his fifth year, throws for over 5,000 yards, throws for 33 touchdowns, set the league record for never throwing a ball out of bounds in an entire season. But he also had 30 interceptions and a mound of fumbles. I told you, there was this game I was watching, and I loved it because he threw more touchdowns to the other team on interceptions than he threw to his own teammates. But he still came out there chucking. Sublight says, I'd like to not lose the first game, 49 for the third time in a row. I'd like to do that too. I would like to do that if that's possible. And please don't make it. Please, you know what? I don't want to lose the home opener by 40. 27-23. Hell, win 17-16. But no, I agree. Commercial pilots have no fear. Neither do tank commanders. What does KP says? Protect Jameis at all costs. That's my quarterback. Well, the problem is he's not going to play. The theory with Jameis Winston is this: you don't want to see Jameis Winston, and I'm not saying that he's not going to be on this team. I'm not saying he's not going to be part of this team. I'm just saying that if you are the Giants, you don't want to see Jameis Winston. You want to hope that Russell Wilson carries you through most of the season. And then you want to hope there is a period of time where you can get Jackson Dart in to get some game reps. You don't want to see Jameis Winston. That's the problem. You don't want to, at all costs, you don't want to see the man. Because if you're seeing Jameis Winston, something has been gone terribly wrong here. So we don't want to see. James says, give me 5 minutes. James, that was 11 minutes ago. Worst defense in the league. We scored 7 points against. Yeah. Yeah. But that was last year. This is this year. James Stein said Wilson is better at 36 than what you had in Jones' whole career as a Giant, and anyone who would be a great improvement over Jones. Hell, DeVito won 3 more games than Jones did in 2023. You're ready to have your mind blown?
That's what she said.
I was looking for the explosion. Hello. I don't have the explosion, but I was ready to blow your mind. You know who had more wins, more touchdowns, more yards passing, and made the playoffs last year? More than and had more than Daniel Jones did? You want to know who it was?
Malik Willis. Right hands up.
Had to get in a Malik Willis reference. Mike says, as Mike said, the only team the Bengals defense shut down last year was the Giants. You're right. Scatterboo, 75 attempts, 250 yards. Clock it. Cajun on the beach. We got to see what T-Brad's doing here, because I haven't talked to T-Brad in a long time, but he's T, where are you at? Are you vacationing again? This internet your internet T-Brad is, you are very slow and you have no audio. You still have no audio. See, I'll hit unmute, but even when I hit unmute, T froze. Everyone freeze.
Turn my internet off. I turn my internet off because I'm outside.
Well, are you using the sky as internet?
No. I'm on the front porch and it's trying to grab from inside. I'm like, nah, we're fighting too much.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a little bit of despair there. Where you been, man?
Just work, man. Work, busy. My daughter's going to college. So a lot of prep for that. She graduated high school, first year of college. So a busy dad.
None of that affects me.
Yeah. I mean, that's my fault.
None of that affects me at all. I'm just bringing that up. Oh, I haven't feel like I haven't talked to you forever. So training camp, 3 days away. Started camp.
Okay.
3 days. Rookies report on Tuesday. Camp's in full swing on Wednesday. What are you excited about? What are you excited about? Because this is, to me, this is official kickoff of this season, of this 2025 season. Are you excited about anything about this team?
Absolutely not. I'm excited that you're going to Buffalo. And if you're going to Buffalo, and I know you'll probably be at some training camps and stuff like that, I can get like real news rather than the fluff media that the New York Giants puts out there. They should be ashamed of the media that they have on there. Like, we should have more critical media. But I'm excited to hear your take on things. But
well, we will be there. We're going to be there day one. So we're gonna call some stuff live. I have to admit though, the Giants' social media is not. I would say is not. It's probably not the best in reference to putting out content. They did a thing the other day about having the players determine what certain objects were or certain tools were from a female's makeup bag and what they were used for. And I'm watching this video, and I'm like, first of all, I was a little disturbed that Jackson Dart got a lot of it right. But I'm watching this video like, what does it matter if that's a makeup sponge or an eyelash curler? What does that have to do with the start of the 2025 season?
that lets you know that that's more important than the talent that we have on the roster. We have to make up stories like that to talk about rather than the talent on the roster.
That kind of made me sad. Is there one player, is there one or maybe two or a couple players that you were looking at this year that actually, I know you're not excited, but is there one or two players maybe you're looking at that have piqued your interest to see what they could be in reference to either an NFL player or how they can help the Giants?
I have to start being real. Like, first is Jackson Dart. We've got to see, because I was negative on everything we did to get him. But we've got to see what we got with Jackson Dart and without the Daniel Jones blinders. Because right now, oh my God, he threw it from a boat. He's ready. Let's get he's ready to start. I'm like, are you serious right now? I know people that I work with that can make that throw. You know what I'm saying? They're not NFL ready. But I'm very interested to see probably this year and last year's draft picks, the people that we put together, because I feel like Shane's done just a pretty crap job all the way around. So I'm excited to see these people on the field, and we're no longer speculating. So I'm excited to get past speculation and get because if Jackson Dart's out there doing good and throwing it, slinging it, and looking good, I'm like, hey, you guys are right. I was wrong. I'm hoping that I can say you guys are right. I was wrong, but for the last 3 years, I think me and you have been right.
I was gonna say, we've been pretty consistently correct on certain Giant players.
Yeah.
And we talked about the Jackson Dart thing. First of all, he didn't even use regulation football. Second of all, he's throwing off an elevated position downwards. So that if you know anything about depth perception, you're throwing from here and you're throwing down here, even though you're probably closer than it looks because of the fact of depth perception where you're throwing from, it makes it look further away.
Yep.
We it's an old camera trick, but we don't want to talk about that. What is your biggest fear though? In going in, it doesn't have to be going into the season, but just going.
I'm right. My biggest fear. No, seriously, is that I'm right. I think we're going to be a 3 to 5 win team. Again, my biggest fear is that we're a 3 to 5 win team and we keep Joe Shane and Dable again. That is probably my biggest fear.
If you're a 3-win team, how literally can you justify keeping Brian Dable?
I don't know how you kept justified it last year. To be honest, I give Dable more of a pass than I give Joe Shane. And the reason I do that is as bad as I've been on Daniel Jones and telling you how much he sucked, Dable had to coach him because Joe Shane gave him no other options.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like mackerel. I've eaten mackerel before. It's disgusting. Comes out of the can. I've had mackerel before. If there's nothing else to eat in the world, then I have to eat mackerel. But if I have options, I'm not eating no damn mackerel. Give me some whiting, some bluefish, or something else. And I think that's why I give Joe Shane, like, he should be cut because Brian Dable's like, damn, I wish I had a quarterback because I'd like to open up my playbook, but I can't because this guy can't do nothing but read one thing.
But you have to remember, going back to the hiring of Brian Dable, more than likely the conversation was from Brian Dable's end, I can make Daniel Jones an NFL quarterback. So he more than likely got this job because he told Joe Shane, he told Giant Management, he told everyone else, I can make Daniel Jones into a quarterback.
I can make my Kia a Ferrari. So, I mean, I guess I'm just saying, like, if you thought you could make, and again, I get it. He's got a strong arm. I get it. He can run in a straight line. I get it. He's tall.
The problem was he couldn't run a straight line. Just look at Philadelphia.
But the biggest problem with Daniel Jones was between his ears. He could not process up, the offense. And that's my same argument with Jackson Dart. Having all these cool intangibles there, it's like having a running back who can run good as hell, but he can't pass block. He's never going to play.
Here's my question to you about Brian Dable. And I've always kind of thought about, I was thinking about this the other day. Doug Peterson, when he coached the Eagles, he was 3-13, won the Super Bowl, went 9-7, had a bad year at 4-11-1. A lot of it was due to injuries and salary cap issues. So he was 2 seasons at that point in time removed from winning the Super Bowl, and Philadelphia fired him. We have watched Brian Dable go from 7-2 to 2-5-1 to 6-11 to 3-14, and he still has a job. Is there a disconnect in the Giant process in reference to evaluation, or are they just so rigidly was stuck with, you know what, we gave Ray Hanley all this time, we gave this other coach all this time.
Ooh,
we have to
coach ever.
I don't know. Jerry's
Joe Judge is the worst coach ever. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry.
But you got rid of Joe Judge exponentially in this this accelerated process. What makes Brian Dable so special that he even got this 4th year? Because I thought the same thing. I thought he should have been fired.
I think that the Giants as an organization are living on the past, and we're way too arrogant. Ownership is way too arrogant because there's like 70% of our fans that just follows what ownership says. And when ownership does something, they will double down to show the world that, because they're rich people, you know what I mean? They're the wealthy people, I should say. And they're going to double down to show you they're right. They spent 6 seasons trying to tell us that Daniel Jones is the right guy. And now they're, the fans are putting pressure on Joe Shane and Brian Dable must go. Like last year, somebody put, I think that plane with, you got to get rid of Joe Shane and all that plane going over there made the jump. Usually ownership will be like, damn, our fans are really pissed. We need to make some changes to get our fans.
1 week with the plane. It was multiple weeks.
We need to make some changes to make our fans understand. We understand it, and we're going to change things up. No, that plane made our owners say, well, not our owners, but the owners of the team say, you know what? Damn them. I'm rich. I know what the hell I'm doing. They can go clock in at their 9 to 5 because they have no idea what it takes. And I'm going to show them that I'm right. It becomes an arrogance thing. You can't tell. Listen, we consistently, if this was a stock, you would have dropped it. When they first got here, what did we win? 9 games?
Yep.
Then we dropped down to 6. Then we dropped down to 3. That is a 3-loss gain every season.
Yeah.
That is not trending in the right way. And what did the owner say? We want to try to keep the continuity. Even after you lost two all pros for nothing, that is not a continuity I want to keep. I'd blow it all up. But again, I'm not rich. I'm not wealthy or rich. So I don't get to make those type of decisions.
So you're saying losing probably the best running back in the league and losing the best safety in the league for nothing was probably a bad thing.
In my opinion, yes. Because the one thing that irks me, and I know we go back here all the time, but we're going to continue to go back here. The same way we say don't smoke crack, I will forever, as a Giants fan, as long as I live, we'll go back to that moment when we found out that Saquon signed with the Eagles, and Joe Shane's words is, "We're all right. We're all right." No, we're not all right. We are not all right.
The gift that keeps on giving. Hard knocks.
We'll be like
this year.
Yeah, like his reaction was totally like too nonchalant for me. Like we're in the owner. Like imagine you have someone who's running a business, and that person who's running that business, who's paying your check, tells you, "I don't want this scenario to happen. We have to make sure this scenario doesn't happen because I will be highly upset." In the exact scenario, which you had control over, because he could have easily went and said, "Hey, Saquon, here you go. We're going to put you this. What was the guaranteed money you wanted? You want this amount? We'll sweeten that deal. Let's get this thing done over. We'll put you in there and get you rocking and rolling back with a team." Then guess what? The young boy neighbors doesn't have to do it all. But no, he's too arrogant for that, and he didn't do that. When you run a business that way, because this is a business, you usually lose your job. You explain it to me. Most of the fans will give them a failing grade over 3 years, but then you got some delusional fans like, "What are you talking about? Joe Shane knocked the last 2 drafts out of the park." I'm like, "Are you counting this draft?" "Yeah, this draft was amazing." I said, "You guys have the same feeling as we had after the Kayvon Thibodeau Evan Neal draft. Everyone was excited. Everyone is excited." And like you said, Tim, because you were talking about it earlier, we doubled down on the same position with Abdul Carter. No disrespect to Abdul Carter. Not saying he doesn't deserve to go 3, saying this team has built, needed, like you said, to trade back, get some assets. Hey, maybe you get Warren, and Warren takes pressure off of Neighbors, and whoever quarterback you have has some options.
Yep.
Nope. Bring back the same shitty fucking wide receivers we had.
Had to drop in Pac-Man.
What's good, brother?
It's good, my brothers.
All right.
What are you doing, man?
Taking a walk, enjoying the weather.
I can see that. You look like you cleaned yourself up a little bit. You look good.
Thank you. So do y'all. Yeah, I look magnificent as always.
Thank you, brother.
Going into the start of the 2025 season, going into the start of the 25 training camp, James. I was just asking T-Brad earlier, what are you excited about going into this Wednesday start of training camp, or if anything for the Giants?
I'm excited to see White Vic in the first preseason game. Oh, you mean Giants-wise? I'm just playing. I'm excited to see the rookies. I'm excited to see this vaunted defensive line that I keep hearing about that a lot of people think is going to be pretty good. So I want to see Carter. I want to see the other guys, even the dude, I know you talk about it with Ryan, Corey Black. Like, I'm hoping he's a little better than what we think he is. I hope, for our sakes. The defensive tackle, and I think the other offensive, like, I'm excited to see all the rookies we picked up and to see if the guys from last year improve.
And at the end of the day, what are you fearful going into Giant training camp?
Number one, everybody should be fearful of the I word, which I won't say. We don't need any of that because, as you say, we are like the Avengers with no bench. If we lose Iron Man, Thanos is taking over the universe. We lose Black Widow, Thanos is taking over the universe. So we can't have any injuries. And I'm worried that some of these, I'm worried that Kayvon, Evan Neal, some of these guys who have been here, Hyatt, are not going to take the leap that everybody thinks they're going to take. That's what I'm worried about.
Who is the guy in the Avengers that has the arrows? I don't watch the Avengers. Who's that guy? Who's the
Hawkeye.
guy?
Oh, that's Hawkeye. Thank you, brother.
A question. Avengers question. What happens when he runs out of fucking arrows?
Then he's like you with
What
no
kind of-
mic.
Oh, I was going to say, what kind of superpower is that? That I'm really good at shooting arrows.
Well, he's good with a sword.
Oh,
He's good with a sword.
Okay,
I was gonna say I don't know much about the character of Hawkeye, but if a rich guy like Bruce Wayne can be a superhero, anyone.
Yeah, but at least Bruce Wayne, he's got, he's got. So that's a good question, though. Why? No, now this is the funnel, you guys. John Mayer is a rich guy. Fish is a rich guy. Why can't they build a fucking Batcave or make the Giants better every year? We bash Jerry Jones as an owner because the Cowboys never win anything. Because the Cowboys are always, not in the playoffs and or are they in the playoffs, but they lose. But then I just kind of think to myself, going back to 14, Cowboys are 12-4, 4-12, 13-3, 9-7, 10-6, 8-8, 10-6, 12-5, 12-5, 12-5, 7-10. So as a billionaire, not Bruce Wayne, Jerry Jones does one thing that I don't understand what the Giants don't do. Jerry Jones spends, and while he may make the wrong decisions, the Cowboys are still competitive for the last 10, 15 years. And the Giants since 2011 have what? 2 playoff appearances. Why? What is that? I don't, and like I said, we get on Jerry Jones because he does make some stupid shit.
Mm-hmm.
But all the Cowboys, while they may lose in the playoff, there's only one team that wins a Super Bowl every year.
Yeah,
Well, I'll just come out and say before my brothers jump on it that the Cowboys draft good. If you look at the way they draft the last 8 to 10 years, the players they've gotten, even some of them that are not there now. I mean, Ezekiel Elliott, that was a good pick. He carried that team for those 5 years, his first 4 or 5 years, literally on his legs. Dak Prescott, third round, my fault, brother. But they draft well. Micah Parsons, again, I guess we didn't value Micah Parsons that much,
that everybody ended up being Kayvon Thibodeau. Great one. Great move.
The Cowboys draft reasonably well, and they pay their guys. And amongst all those wins you were wins per season you were shouting off, they've made the playoffs multiple times.
Right.
So once you get, like you say, only one team wins the dance, but you have to get in the dance to win the dance.
I was just curious. Kareem is in the chat. Oh, my brother, how's it going, Tim? How's it going, brothers? T-Brad and James.
What up, brother?
It's all going well.
Big Ream.
I haven't seen you in a while. Logic's fine. So just want to wish everyone a blessed day. Tim, my best to you and your family. Salute, sir. Dan the man says, but Jerry at least keeps them relevant in the picture.
Mm-hmm.
That was going to be my next question. The Giants are relevant for different reasons. The Giants are relevant for the plane. The Giants are relevant for the Daniel Jones fiasco. The Giants, Jerry, you're right. He keeps the Cowboys relevant. Like I said, they may not win in the playoffs, but he gets them to the playoffs and he keeps them relevant in a football aspect.
Time, real quick, Tim. I'm sorry to cut you off. I know you're the leader. Does he look like Bill Bixby, like he's looking for a ride? James looks like Bill Bixby at the end of Incredible Hulk.
You need that music.
I gotta have my little bag.
Yeah.
He looks like a hobo because I saw the fucking train tracks.
Yeah, sorry, young watchers. That's old Incredible Hulk stuff. You got to go back and watch. You had to be there.
We have to have you have to have the music though.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the thing. If you don't have the Incredible Hulk music, then that's
sorry
wrong.
about that, though.
So many levels, though. James, are you going somewhere? Are you waiting for a train? Oof.
You know what I had to do this morning at 3:30 in the morning? Me and my significant other, we took her cousin to LaGuardia. Caught a 6 a.m. flight. So I'm on a weird schedule right now. That's why you see me walking around, because I came back, slept for like 2 hours, but I get up early. I go to work at 6 a.m., like clock in at 6. So
Gotcha.
my schedule is, I'm wired right now. She's knocked out. She don't understand. Like, I'm up. So I've been up watching cartoons, sports stuff, Shark video. Oh, Shark Week starts this week.
Yep.
For everybody out there, Shark Week. So I've been up since about 3:30 this morning.
It is the 50th anniversary of Jaws. And Shark Week.
Amen.
But no one still gave me an answer. What happens when the guy runs out of arrows?
Well, he has military training. He's been in the military.
These are the burning questions that I have. Cajun Beach says Cowboys really do draft well, always full of talent. Hate to say it, but it's true.
They do.
I mean, it's just I don't know. Cajun, I don't know. Like you said, you could say Big Don is also. I don't know. Big Don must be at work as well, because there's Big Don always in there. If James, we were talking to T-Brad earlier about how Brian Dable stayed in the job, or how he still even has a job after the likes of, if you go back to like Doug Peterson, had 3 winning seasons in a row, won a Super Bowl, and still got fired off of a bad 4-win season. But Brian Dable, who went 7-2, 2-5-1, 6-11, and 3-14, for some unknown reason, is coming back for year 4.
2 things. One, the Eagles regard winning higher than we do now, clearly. And 2, I think Dable he's here because he's resting off the laurels of winning Coach of the Year, which he did, which we do have to admit that was an amazing feat considering the roster and the quarterback he had to work with. So, he didn't win a lot of games, but considering he did win Coach of the Year, and I think that gave the Giants brass the ammunition they needed to keep this collective together, I'll say, another season and see what happens. I'm want to ask y'all, I missed y'all talking about it earlier, having coffee. I don't know if you've spoken it or not, so excuse me, but what do y'all think there's a possibility at the end of the season of Dable getting fired and we keeping Shane, or do you think they're tied at the hip?
I hope they're tied at the hip. I don't want to lose one and keep the other. I blame Shane for this mess. He's the person who had the books, and Dable's just in there. So, but I do believe they should be tied at the hip. This is a group package. Let's get them all out. We're either all in on both or we're all out on both. That's my decision.
My concern is you look at Dave Gettleman after that fiasco. Dave Gettleman got to hire another head coach and bring in another draft. And that head coach, of course, was Joe Judge. So Dave Gettleman made 2 mistakes in a row. Joe Judge's first season only won 6 games. They didn't improve finally, and ownership finally figured out we're not going to give this guy a third opportunity to pick a head coach. But I think that I think if things go bad, I think Dable. We're gonna mute you for a second, James. I think Dable gets fired, and I think Shane stays. And I think Shane stays for the full 5 years of his contract.
To make it more bad decisions, that is terrible, but that is par for the course with the ownership that we have. That's
what the Giants do, though. It's nothing new. If you go back to Giant history, you even go back to George Young. Who was George Young's first coach, and then who was the coach that pretty much got him pushed out of the building, which was going to be the likes of Ray Handley. Now, of course, he did stay years after Ray Handley, but
Ray Handley.
George Young's one of his biggest mistakes in Giant history was the Ray Handley issue, and then also the issue of, I think, having Dan Reeves pulling the plug on Dan Reeves too soon and dumping Phil Simms too quickly. So I think
Young's big mistake was not drafting Reggie White. when Parcells told him to draft Reggie White, and we already had Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah, but then all you want to do is you want to keep bringing in pass rushers.
To have Lawrence Taylor and Reggie White on the same team, I'll take it. When I found out about that story, I was like, "You're telling me you could have had Reggie White and Lawrence Taylor? Oh my god!"
I love this comment. Jerry is willing to try anything new to keep the Cowboys relevant, unlike Mara, who is still stuck with the giant wet.
Absolutely, absolutely, Kareem.
And people forget about this, though, with the plane. The last game of the season, everyone's like, well, the plane didn't fly over the stadium that last game of the season. Well, the plane was hired. There is just a ceiling limit in reference to visibility that you have to have in regards to flying the plane. So the ceiling level, which is also known as the CAVU, which is a ceiling achieved, I forget what it is, a ceiling achieved visibility unlimited. If you don't have that certain thing, you cannot fly the plane, which is why they didn't fly the plane. Just, throwing that out there for people.
Isn't that such a change in philosophy that back in the day they didn't want too many dominant defensive players, but now we're in this thing of, well, you can't have too many pass rushers. We're going to just keep drafting them in the top 10. You can't have too many because they all are average. That is the understanding.
Can you guys think of a time, think of a team, because I was trying to think about it yesterday, where you have three defensive players that are all pass rushers, which are all technically defensive linemen, who all do the exact same thing, that you took two of them in the first rounds in 4 years and you traded for one, gave up assets and gave them $120 million when they all three of them do have the exact same skill set and the exact same size and the exact same. Can you think of a team that anyone in the chat also? Can you think of a team that in modern history? Because I can't think of one that had three of the guys that had the exact same skill set that were on the field at the same time that were successful.
Oh, that were successful. So you added that caveat there.
Caveat. You have
just
to
a giant way. I don't have no idea what we're doing.
No, but I'm just thinking, because I'm thinking about it, because everyone's talking about how we're going to have a dominant pass rush. And I just think, where in history have we had a pass rush where you had three guys that did the exact same thing? No, that's OC, Strahan, and Tuck. No.
Strahan could set the edge.
Strahan and Tuck could set the edge, and OC was strictly a pass rusher.
Yeah.
Strahan and Tuck.
And those guys were different sizes.
Right. Strahan and Tuck could get you 80 tackles. I was waiting for someone to say Jason Pierre-Paul. I was waiting for someone to say NASCAR, but then it's like, no, because you had two guys, Matthias Kiwanuka and JPP, who could rush tackles. And then you had O.C. Umenyiora, who was almost, and Justin Tuck, who were almost your designated pass rushers. So they didn't all do the same thing. That's what I've been trying to figure out. You have three players who look almost identical in size that have identical skill sets and deficiencies that are saying, no, JPP and Tuck, two different players. JPP had 16 and a half tackles, sacks his second season, but he also could play the run. Justin Tuck was more especially towards the end of his career, was more of an edge setter, was more of a run guy. You have
Justin Tuck, definitely one of my favorite Giants all time. You have
three guys that have speed, have similar moves, similar body types, who neither one of them can play the run, who is proficient at using a speed rush to get after the pass. No, it's okay, Blackbird. You're not late to the party.
Draft.
Welcome to the party, pal.
You're not late to the party. But I'm just trying to think of it, because I know a lot of people bring up the NASCAR thing. All three different skill sets.
You know what's alarming, brothers and any sisters in the chat. Everybody keeps saying we're going to have dominant pass rush, NASCAR. But they never say we're going to be able to stop the run.
And that's the thing.
Notice that whenever you hear anybody on ESPN, any sports radio, they always say, Giants going to have a dominant pass rush. They're going to be able to get to the quarter. What about stopping the running back, fullback, or anybody else running out of the backfield?
Who's going to stop the tight end?
Well, we never do that anyway, so who cares?
Yeah, I know, but this is 2025. This is a new era. Who's going to stop the tight end?
Who's going to stop the screen pass?
The sideline.
Speed rush. The speed rush. You're going to get screen pass a lot. Who's going to stop that screen pass?
Oh my God, I have been fucking saying that since the draft. Who is going to stop the bubble screen? Who's going to stop the quick flare on the tight end?
I have no idea.
When you bring three guys and they're over aggressive and they don't maintain their assignments and they are solely focused on getting the quarterback, and we've already seen Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau have a propensity to take their rushes out wide and not cut in sooner, you are going to leave large segments of the field open. I do not want Abdul Carter being that middle linebacker with his 25.9% missed tackle percentage saying cover the tight end and try to stop that guy.
Well, he's going to have to do that once in a while.
I know he is. I'm not happy about it.
I got a question, Phil. Are y'all more intrigued at seeing the defense this year or the offense?
Ooh.
Oh, offense.
Ooh, no, that's a good one.
I'll say
it's got to be
I'm
the
definitely going to say defense, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Once you guys go,
Okay.
I'll tell you why I'm more defense.
It's wow, that is a good one. Because there's so many things on offense that you need to improve on, but I have to say defense because of the fact that Shane Bowen's system does not fit any of these players. So unless he is going to revamp the entire way that he calls the game,
Get down, James. Get down.
Sorry. Hi, James. If he, I was joking, James. Maybe he was getting picked up. Paulson Adebo doesn't fit the system. Tay Banks does not fit the system. Holland should fit the system. You have three undersized defensive ends that do not fit the system. You have a defensive coordinator who's not known for creativeness in his secondaries, and you have a guy that likes to rush four, going off the track record of his first 5 years in Tennessee. A lot of these pieces don't fit. Now, if you had Steve Wilkes or even Wink Martindale back again, then I could say that makes more sense. But yeah, I would have to go defense.
Yeah, I think this draft, the Giants made a commitment to defense. They picked up the defensive tackle. They picked up the defensive end. The agency, they filled in a lot of spots. I don't think they gave us a lot on offense.
No, they didn't do it. Got to drop Big Don in because with Don, are you working or are you just driving?
I'm working and I'm not driving. I'm actually parked.
Are you working?
Good. Safety first.
Car.
I just pulled up to the spot I gotta work. I just popped in real quick. Say what's up, fellas. I ain't talked to you in a minute.
No,
I haven't
talked to you since yesterday.
I know I talked to Tim like all the time. This darn college football, man. That's why.
Yo,
go blue.
Yo, Don, you saw my Jerry McNamara jersey? I know Tim sent it to you.
Oh yeah, because he sent me. He was like, do you know who this is? I'm like, yeah, Gary McNamara. I said one of the greatest free throw shooters in SU history, and hit clutch threes, and now he's the head coach at Siena. Don't play with me. I
actually said James told me to send this to you, and James, I sent you his response on the text message.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
So don't be like I didn't do it.
Hey, I ain't no poser. I'm a real 315er. But anyway.
No, but I gotta ask you a question because T. Brad had a great question. Who are you more? What side of the ball are you more interested in seeing this season? Seeing how they progress, either the offense or the defense?
Oh, the offense. 1,000% the
We got
offense.
a lot of people in the
1,000.
chat that are saying offense because Razzle's saying offense, Blackbird's saying offense. We got people in the chat.
I'm
saying
curious to know why, but it's a good question. I'm curious to know why offense or defense. I'll get my reason why later.
So here's my thing on offense, because the whole thing has always, for the past 6 years, it was about the quarterback, right?
Right.
Quarterback. We need to get him help. Offensive line sucks. It's all been central.
Still about the quarterback.
That it is, and now we have Russell Wilson / Winston / Gosh, now you make me have flashbacks. And Jackson Dart. But the real question is, how does it work as a unit this year? Like, since anybody talks about a productive quarterback, how does this actually work together? Is Neighbors once again going to get 10,000 balls thrown at him? Is he going to be mad when he's not the focal point? Is he going to get mad if he doesn't get 13 targets in the first 3 drives? Like, that's the question on the offense, because everybody loves offense. Defense, right now, we're kind of like, we got to see how this experiment works right now. It's a wait and see with the defense, because everybody really wants to know how the offense is going to look, because everybody's been talking about the defense.
Slider, I see you in the chat. Slider called the ball. I put the link in there for you if you're around. But yeah, but I think
Negative Ghost Rider pattern.
Ghost Rider, the pattern's full.
Yeah.
T and I are both under the defensive perspective, because like I said, I'm curious to see how this is going to all fit and work with players that still don't fit the system.
Nope.
And
I'll tell you, that's exactly where I was going, because I know this guy said, what do you need? I need linebackers. I need defensive tackle.
I need 2 linebackers and a defensive tackle.
He's going on not to fix the linebacker thing, right?
Went on the record with that, he did.
Right. He didn't fix the linebacker issue. The defensive tackle he drafted, I'm very interested in seeing, because I feel if this team is going to be good, the defense has to be good. The offense already got better by getting rid of Daniel Jones. We've gotten that much better. It's addition by subtraction. We've gotten that much better by whoever we have at quarterback is not worse than Daniel Jones. So I'm comfortable there. And the reason for defense is, how do all of these pieces that don't fit what the defensive coordinator does, but has talent, how does it work on the field? So that's why I'm uber excited to see that. Because if our defense is in there doing good, it gives our offenses more opportunities. Because so many times our offense was killing our defense because they were 3 and out.
So the question would go, oh, my bad, Tim.
But when I'm thinking about it for a second, T-Brown is right. Maybe it is offense. Don might be right. Maybe it is offense, because
it's
one of the Achilles heels of the Giants was the inability of the offense to have the consistent drives and stay on the field for an extended period of time. And so I don't know. You know what? I don't know. I haven't changed my mind yet, but I have to think about it now.
Well, actually,
after Big Don goes, I'm gonna give my reason for offense after Big Don.
Yeah, after I say this, I gotta go. But actually, I'm glad you said that, T. Now we're talking about how the offense had no inability to stay consistently on drives, and the defense got tired, right?
Right.
Is this defensive coordinator not going with the bend don't break defense? So it's not really about. It's basically just keeping the big drives. The big plays from happening. But can he stop a 3 and out instead of a dink 5 here, 7 here, 4 here, 8 here, just constantly going for first downs? Is his defense? I remember looking at the Titans, but after Schwartz left, that defense went in shambles completely. And he was supposed to have the pieces. Learn on the job to have those pieces. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting on the defensive side. But
I have before you go, Don. I got a question, and I got a question for everyone, because this is interesting, because I forgot about this. Where do you think, Don, that the Giants ranked, the offense ranked in regards to time of possession?
Got to be dead last, if not second to dead last.
Okay, T-Brad, where do you think the Giants ranked in time of possession last year?
25 or lower.
17.
I'm sorry, what?
17th. They ranked 17th in the league at time of possession with 30 minutes and 12 seconds. They were actually tied for 16th. I should rephrase that, with Cleveland at 30 minutes and 12 seconds. Who do you think was 15th? One above the Giants. This is
Philadelphia?
Nope.
Okay. Who
do you think was 15th in reference to time of possession in the league?
The Raiders?
Nope. You ready for this?
Who?
The Steelers.
Did not see that one coming.
Neither did I. I forgot. I wrote this down and I haven't done. I wrote it down for a reason. So it took me a moment to. So really, I'm going back to defense now. I'm going back to defense.
Tim is just a seesaw right now.
It's difficult because both sides suck for so long. It's difficult. But I think defense, we put so many new pieces together on like if you look at offense, I don't think we really did much to change our offense. We got the same raggedy receivers outside of Neighbors. We got the same raggedy tight ends.
Raggedy receivers.
Yeah, we put a new name on the offensive line in like the 5th round. We didn't do much in free agency to do anything.
He's out of the darkness.
Who?
Jalen Hyatt's out of the darkness. I see. That's what I was doing with Jay.
Jalen Hyatt is like Hawkeye without the arrows.
Oh God, T. Brad, you just killed him. You just killed Hyatt.
We're about to write these wine orders. Y'all take it easy.
And I like Hyatt.
Text me later, man.
All right, brother. Yeah, I like Hyatt too. Super excited to see Hyatt break out, but I don't think usually you don't break out the 3rd year.
I'm not even gonna score. That's a weird thing.
He is right though. But if people talk about the time of possession for the Giants, I mean the Giants in reference to scoring was god awful. But in reference to time of possession, they were in almost the middle of the league. They were tied for 16th.
That's what happens when you dink and dunk all the time, and you had Saquon for part of those years. You just talk about last year?
Not last year. We didn't have him last year.
Oh, okay. But the reason why I said offense is because, and I know I bring this up a lot, but it just pains my soul so much. The Sunday or Monday night game against the Bengals with Joe Burrow last year. Joe Burrow had one of the greatest offensive seasons for a quarterback, as did Lamar, Lamar and him were like, their numbers were insane. But Joe Burrow, the reason why they didn't make the playoffs is because of the defense. Right. And in the game that we played them, it was a 10-9 game going into the 4th quarter, I think. 10-9. And we had the 9. And our defense, just like it has for the last 4 to 5 years, has kept us in games.
Right.
Uh-oh.
James. I love what is this one? Mark? Oh, I'm sorry, use that. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, for me, it's the offense because I won't even touch the quarterback. Just like you said, our scoring was abysmal. We would dink and dunk, hold the ball, get within the red zone, and forget how to play. We, God forbid, until Neighbors
or a bad sack.
Right. Until Neighbors, I mean, our best weapon was our kicker. And until Neighbors got here, we never threw it deep. So for me, it's, the fact that we did add Scatterbull. Hopefully we do have a 1-2 punch at running back. Hopefully one of these tight ends does emerge. Hopefully one of them out of the muck of tight ends we have emerges from this barrel of sin. And again, the biggest thing that people aren't talking about, I know we talk about it here, but the offensive line is part of the offense. So I'm hoping the offensive line finds some solidarity and some guys, JMS, Evan Neal, take that next step. So for me, the defense, the defense always plays well for the first 7-8 games. Then they just go, oh, these guys suck on the other side. I give up. I'm not dying out here. Can't walk with my kids later because Daniel Jones is my quarterback. I firmly believe guys made business decisions. So this year going forward, again, my man Slayton, He's not Hakeem Nicks, not Victor Cruz. But other than Neighbors, you tell me who we got other than my band Big Play Slay. So for me, it's the offense.
Mark B is right. The Giants couldn't put it in the end zone. They were 31st in points scored last year. I was just bringing up the fact that in reference to time of possession, that people always thought the defense was exhausted. The defense was so tired because they were always on the field. No, they were tied for 16th in the league in regards to time of possession the offense was. So it's not like that. It's because I've been trying. Because I go to every game and I always think about it. Going, I see the offense on a lot, and the Giants actually led in time of possession and probably maybe a little less than half the games they played. So I just couldn't think. That's why when people are like, well, the defense is always tired. Why? They weren't on the field more than half the time.
No, mentally tired. Mentally tired. Can you imagine? And you guys have played
second down, but it's third down when they blow it.
Right.
They blow it on third down, but my fault, Tim. But can you imagine playing for a whole first half? You're holding a team to under 14. The other team has 10 points, but your offense has 6 or 7. And then you go into the third quarter, and then something happens, some big play happens, offense throws an interception or something, and you got to go right back on the field after maybe getting a 3 and out.
But think of it this way, James. Think of it this way, especially with the Giants defense. We talk about 3 and outs on the offense. How many times did the Giants give up big plays on third downs to extend drives, the defense? How many times we wouldn't be talking about certain things because the Giants defense at times, especially on third downs, were a sieve that they couldn't get off the field.
That's true too.
That's why it's a 50-50 simpatico thing, football. You need both the offense and the defense, the yin and the yang, but they couldn't get off the field when they needed to get the offense. How many times did we see teams march down the field in the fourth quarter and the Giants not being able to get the ball back?
Plenty.
So
Casper was gone.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking.
It also hurts not having a good linebacker on third down that can go out and cover a tight end.
That would have been cool. That'd be cool to have one of those.
James, you want everything.
No, I just want things to make sense. I'm a very common sense meat and potatoes guy. You should have football in the game of football, especially for a team like the Giants. Should probably have at least 2 good linebackers at all times.
You want good linebackers. You want guys that can cover. You are just one of these guys that are just, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Pac-Man.
I'd like to have an offensive strength. Yeah, I'd like to have an offensive strength. Like our offense still has no identity. Since we lost Saquon Barkley, we still have. It's just throw it up to Neighbors' identity right now.
But isn't that an identity?
Not a good one.
Isn't that an identity?
Not a good one.
It's a Madden. We got the Madden identity.
We're just going to go identity that we can believe in. You know what I mean?
I like it though. You know what? We just throw it in, and that. Oh my God! It dawned on me. Why did Neighbors want number 1? Because the Giants' offense only throws it to fucking one guy.
Oh, I like that.
Oh. You know what? That's gonna be real funny 5 years from now again.
With the red stripe guy. We might have red stripe part 2.
But he's playing for Washington? No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not going to be funny at all. Off Broad's way say we got better. We made improvements at key positions. So did our. That is a great point. We've had guests on from every team within our division this last couple weeks, and everyone that I've talked to have talked about the same thing. While the Giants have made some improvements, Washington improved their offensive line.
Especially Washington. Yeah.
Not only through the draft, but through trades. You got Jaden Daniels, another guy to throw to. Yeah, this Terry McLaurin thing's still going on, but they had a good draft. They had a good free agency. Dallas. Everyone talked about what a sucky offseason Dallas had, but if you actually take a look at what Dallas did, their offseason was pretty damn good. Philadelphia, the defending Super Bowl champs, had another linebacker fucking fall into their laps at 32. I remember watching the draft going, I didn't even know he was still on the fucking board.
Beast.
And they've improved. So have the Giants improved enough to even be competitive, maybe with because who would the Giants be competitive with this year? Is it? I don't think it's going to be Philadelphia. I don't think it's going to be Washington. Is it? Is it going to be Dallas? Are they on the same level as Dallas?
No, we haven't
They
proven
belong to
that
the
yet, so we
basement
can't
again.
say that.
We're in the basement of the division. I believe we're a bottom 5 team in the NFL.
I don't know why so many Giant fans think we're going to walk into Washington and beat them that game one. That's disrespectful to how good Jaden Daniels really was last year. It's disrespectful to how much they've built that team up in like 2 years.
2 years. They put that thing
2
together.
years. 2 years.
They had a complete revamp and playoff. NFC Championship game in 2 years.
And as much as people like Dabo, Dan Quinn's played in the Super Bowl. Whether he won or lost, he took a team to the Super Bowl. So he kind of knows what he's doing over there. And I think our best bet to win this season first game is at Dallas because I think we have a better chance against them compared to anybody else in the division. Philadelphia is not even worth mentioning. We're not even at the same table as them. So that's not even worth mentioning. And Washington is better than us. And Dallas, even though they still brought in an extra weapon for Dak. So their 1-2 punch is better than us. And then the other underlying moves they made have actually been pretty solid. They've actually done the opposite of what they usually have done, and it'll probably benefit them later.
Everyone talks about the Dable turnaround that first season, but in 2016, I understand. Yes, Atlanta was number 1 in the division at 11-5, but they had no right to even has gone as far as they did. The South that year was not a good division. They had no right making it to the Super Bowl that year, let alone being ahead of the Steelers. So if you want to talk about Dan Quinn, to your point, Dan Quinn, I think he gets a little bit more disrespect than he probably should because he did go 0-5 that last season, but he was still 43-42. He still had a winning record and a Super Bowl appearance and 2 playoff. He has 3 playoff wins and 2 playoff losses.
And as a defensive coordinator, he's more than proved himself.
Yeah.
So I really don't understand. Again, we sometimes I get it. Every fan base, we crap on it, but we really take an objective view. No, Dan Quinn, he's in a good position, especially given the quarterback he has. Eagles are the Eagles. And we'll see with the Cowboys. But again, with the Cowboys, we haven't beaten them in 6 years with Dak. So until we do that, I can't say we're better than them. We're at the bottom, like Black Guy said.
T-Brad, I'm changing my vote back to the defense because this person got it right. Giants defense had no INTs and turnovers till the very end of the season. So now I'm changing back to defense.
There it is. And that really goes to the point that I was with defense. Like, what do we have? You're excited to see both sides because there's so many changes, but the defense has to do something if we're going to even win 5 games, which is my cap. So we won't go over 5.
My associate producer has just let me know, and that, of course, that is Mrs. Online Big Blue, that for the entire stream, I have not told anyone to like or subscribe or do anything else. So, like.
I did hit that like button, guys.
Don't comment. Hit the like button or don't comment. If you're commenting and not hitting the like button, you're a real lazy piece of shit. Because it's right above where you comment.
That's first of all, if you're dropping comments without hitting the like, that's just backwards. That is the Giant way.
That is the Giant way. Yeah, you're a Giant fan if you do that.
And quick point about the defense. Weren't we leading the league in sacks, though, according to metrics the first few weeks of the season? Just to say.
I have to rephrase this. Mrs. Online Big Blue is not the associate producer. She wants to know if she got demoted because she thought she was the head of production. So, yes, Mrs. Online Big Blue, I do apologize. You are the head of production, and don't forget to hit the like.
There we go.
Got to get her title right.
I try, man. I try. The titles change. Off Broadway says the New York sports as a whole has pretty much ridiculous and terrible teams, owners, except for maybe the NYCFC.
As a union person, I say we show solidarity and give 10 seconds of silence till we get at least like 2 likes.
Yeah, 2
likes. 10 seconds. 2 likes.
2 likes. All right, let's see here. Hold on. What do we got here? Oh, we got 6 likes.
Bang! That strike's over.
That's what I'm talking about.
We've been averaging 100 and something people in this chat over between all the systems in the last couple hours, and we only had oh now we're up to 46 likes. Okay. All right, well
There we go.
Mrs. Online Big Blue was right. Okay.
And that's why she's the producer.
No, she's head of production.
There we go.
Head of production, HOP.
She is the head. I'm not gonna go there. I was about to go.
We had so much. We were getting ready to go down that tunnel. I left it alone.
I literally stopped myself from going down that tunnel. I was gonna say because that's not what it's called in this house.
Yeah, we're so mature now.
Yeah,
We are.
I can tell we are because I'm gonna laugh about it forever. Mark B says now subscribed. Okay. All right. Who's
Now,
going?
that's what I'm talking about, Mark.
Come on, Mark, man. We thought you already subscribed.
And hit that bell button too, so you get all the notifications.
Yeah, the bell thing. I always forget about that. Hit the bell thing. Because look
Bell, Biz DeVoe.
Now
you know.
Yo, Slick.
Blow.
We are too.
No Diddy. Like, wow. Before like, and we know what that means, but wow. We really did with the lyrics.
Oh, I love this. We are Tim. You are a real channel now. Yeah, we are a real channel. You guys aren't mature. No shit, Blackburn. You've been around long enough. You should know we're not mature.
How dare you?
Yeah, we are so mature.
That means he's calling us old and dumb. We're not old and wise. We're just old and dumb.
It is old and dumb. I prefer that as well. Is anyone in the chat going to training camp? That's the question I have to ask. Because I will be there Wednesday.
So you're going, right?
Where's training camp at?
It's in MetLife.
I may go. Where's the mimosas?
Where's the mimosa? Because every time you're on, you got a mimosa.
They better have some.
I got.
You know what?
I got.
I can be inspired.
In the corner, and I got no mimosa in the middle.
Let's see what we got here. I don't think I got anything sparkling at the.
James,
I got wine.
Is it strawberry or cherry flavored?
Wait, what'd you say about Jerry, Big Two?
The cigar, is that cherry flavored?
No, this is jazz flavored. This is jazz flavored Black and Mild.
Hold on, we got Logic's finest. Logic,
my brother.
Gentlemen, how are you?
We're good. How are
Good,
you,
brother?
I'm good. First off, I'm hoping everyone that you have a blessed day. I hope that you and your families are all in fantastic health.
You too, bro.
Same to you, brother.
We appreciate it. Thank you. Same to you.
Really quick. I don't want to be the stick in the mud, but the Giants' offensive line was completely ineffective and incompetent last season. How have they improved? And can anyone give me any factual proof that the offensive line has improved? Not that I wish or that I hope or that I think, but can anyone give me factual proof that the offensive line has improved? Because the offense was one-dimensional.
G-Brad's going to go for G-Brad. I'm changing my vote. I'm going back to offense now.
Okay.
This guy.
The question is, can anyone? My answer is simple. No. That's it. He asked the question. It was a yes or no answer. My answer is no. Nothing. I cannot give him what he needs.
Drafting Bo, bringing in Hubbard, bringing back most of having Azuda, bringing in most of keep basically having the same group does not enthrall you, Brad?
I just don't think I don't think we've done anything for the offensive line. Nothing. So that question is well warranted.
In all fairness, word to the grapevine is somebody told me they saw Joe Shane in a mall throw a penny in the wishing well. And he said, I wish that all my moves work out. And the offensive line is great. So he did try something. He went to the gods and the spirits. But Logic said we can't use the wish. So I don't know if that disqualifies that, but that's what I heard through my sources.
So what we're saying is we're hoping that the offensive line isn't like Hawkeye and we run out of arrows mid-season.
Damn, we're just crapping on my man Hawkeye. Yes. Just Hawkeye with we're gonna be like Hawkeye with no bows and arrows, like Robin Hood with no bows and arrows. Hawkeye with no bows and arrows. What are we good for?
Go back to T-Brad though, because at least Bruce Wayne was like a billionaire and he had all this cool stuff. Hawkeye, he runs out of arrows. What does he do?
Well, Bruce Wayne had the Batmobile. He had Catwoman. He had a lot of things. We can't even compare that guy. That's like us comparing us to the Eagles right now. We're Hawkeye. Ooh. The Eagles are Bruce Wayne. Oh, shots fired.
Ooh. I hate the Eagles being so
it's
good.
True.
I really do. I really hate the Eagles.
It's true. We help them be good. We let our best player walk right down the turnpike without a fight.
Make the Eagles great again. That's the Joe Shane way.
Listen, I hate to bring up this name again because I know he was a very divisive player when he was here to a lot of fans. Odell Beckham Jr. Okay, if you look at when Odell Beckham was on the Giants, every team in football knew where the ball was going, and they still could not stop him. What did the Giants do? They got rid of him. When Saquon 65% of the offense all by himself, everyone knew the ball was going to Saquon. They still could not stop him. What did the Giants do? They let him go. So the very same brain trust, which means John Mara, and John Mara's ass have been making all of
speaking of the ball though, Slider.
Slider.
Yo.
Slider, you have the ball.
Hey, what up? Yeah, I was trying to get on and I couldn't get on. I was having some issues. I'm here.
You couldn't get on because you weren't walking.
No.
That's how this. We got Logic's Finest here, and we not dropping Slider there, Mr. Finest. I know you probably couldn't see us because you're not on camera, but just wanted to yes, but Odell Beckham. I don't know. Odell is so Odell. I know we wanted to come.
So
back.
what you're saying, Logic? So what Logic is saying is that in about 4 years we're going to lose neighbors.
We
could.
Maybe sooner because
that's what Logic is saying. When we have really good players, we don't keep them. Go ahead, Slider.
We don't. I'm sorry, go ahead, Slider.
What are you talking about? We kept Daniel Jones.
Yeah, that was a little bit too long.
That was just
a lot of bit too long, brother.
Blackbird says so. The Giants will lose neighbors. Well, we lost Odell. We lost Xavier McKinney. We lost Saquon Barkley. We're more than likely when we built. We even lost Julian Love.
Yeah.
I was saying there's other guys. There's other guys we've lost. Let go. Yeah.
Also,
we couldn't even sign him.
I just want to throw this out there. We could have had. Not only we could have had. We should have had Michael Parsons and Patrick Mahomes Jr. We should have had. There were people in the building who wanted to draft Michael Parsons, people in the building who wanted to draft Patrick Mahomes Jr. So not only have the Giants let their best offensive weapons go, they could have had the best quarterback in the NFL, and they could have had the current best defensive player in the NFL.
I'm actually going to take that one farther because of the Daniel Jones draft. We could have had Kentucky linebacker Josh Allen, who went to Jacksonville and has been a defensive stalwart and sack machine for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And then combine him with Parsons, Patrick Mahomes, and anyone not named Kadarius Toney.
That draft, I was praying for Allen. And then we
could add Lamar Jackson too.
Whoa, guys, hold on. As part of the Black Quarterback Coalition, the New York Giants do not draft black quarterbacks. So even mentioning those names is irrelevant. until proven otherwise. Just say.
I apologize.
Giants have drafted a black quarterback. We've gone through this, James.
Andre,
No,
I think you
he
guys
doesn't
need to
count.
relax because we did get Kadarius Toney. We were able to, switch that Micah Parsons thing and get Kadarius Toney. Like,
Who went on to win a Super Bowl on another team?
Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Not one.
yeah.
because of his talent.
Two James.
We couldn't get him off. We couldn't get KT on the field though. He was always hurt.
He couldn't get on the field
Anywhere.
in KC either. So.
If you want to win a Super
but he
Bowl in the
did
NFL, get drafted by the Giants and then get traded.
Yeah.
Oh,
But he still ended up making one of the biggest plays in the Super Bowl with the punt return.
this is
Traded BJ Hill.
This is a killer.
For Billy Price, right? Yes.
We traded BJ Hill for the worst ranked starting center in the entire league, and we thought that was a good trade.
Was that the Price guy?
Yes, Billy Price.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I really
And guess what? BJ Hill went to the Super Bowl.
I loved BJ Hill, and we didn't give him.
Oh,
a
wow.
shot
You're
after
right.
his
Cincinnati.
year.
BJ Hill
Damn you.
averaged 55 tackles a year since 2021 and averaged 4.5 sacks a season for the defensive tackle. He'd be a good guy to have next to Dexter Lawrence. Oh, wait, we did.
Yeah, and we gave him away. He was really good. I really liked him. It just sucked that Joe Judge didn't have a place for him.
We have to explain to Mark because he just subscribed. Mark, we understand they've only drafted one black quarterback in 100 years. That's what makes it funny.
That was like 2007, right? We got the quarterback from Kentucky.
Yeah,
6th round.
Yeah, we did.
I ain't gonna front. We got to stop breaking him up on some real shit because that guy didn't even make the team. That's embarrassing. Andre Woodson, he didn't even make the team.
I bring that up to you, James, because he didn't make the team. That's why I was bringing up to James.
He didn't even make the goddamn team.
Hey,
we did, and he didn't make the goddamn team.
You get an opportunity, you say it never happened, and then as soon as we show you that it did happen, you go back and say, well, that don't count. It counts. He's black. We drafted him. He just happened to
We
suck.
tried to make him a wide receiver.
We've been gun shy ever since.
It didn't happen.
We tried to make him a wide receiver.
It didn't happen because we had Jared Lorenzen on the team.
Hey, Jared Lorenzen, RIP, was good.
He was good.
I would put Jared Lorenzen's ghosts out there right now.
Man.
Gentlemen, the game is at the line of scrimmage, okay? And when
That
I look
Linville
at
Joseph
the New York Giants from the 80s, throughout the 90s, all the way up to Strahan and JPP and OC and Justin Tuck, if you don't have offense and defense on your offensive line and your defensive line, you're not going to win football games. Football is a game of inches. It is won and lost at the line of scrimmage. The New York Giants have a bad offensive line. They have a non-existent defensive line. I have said this consistently for years, and everyone wants to cry about quarterback and weapons. If you don't fix the offensive and defensive line, the Giants are going nowhere. You can take Patrick Mahomes and drop him on this team right now. The Giants are not even going to be a 500 team. You can call me crazy. You can say I'm smoking crack.
Who said
if you
that?
don't have an
I'm gonna
offensive
call
and
you
defensive line, you're not winning. You're not. You're not winning.
Who was that?
That is Logic's finest.
Oh, Logic Finance. Okay.
Patrick Mahomes on his team, I'm not saying we're at 500, but boy, do a lot of things open up. And I'm just saying this, an exclusive quarterback makes up for those deficiencies. I do not argue that you need good line play, great line play, but it's just a yin and it's a yin and a yang thing. If you have great line play, it can make a quarterback look better than they really need to be. But I'll trade my lines if I can get an exceptional quarterback. I'll build my line. I can build my line later, but I may never find an exceptional quarterback.
We just want our line to be good enough. Just good enough
I stand
to
correct.
play.
I agree. T-Brad,
Look at all the people we let go. My God.
I know. We also forget about that. We don't want to talk about who we let go. That had the second most receptions for a tight end in NFL history in a single season.
Who was that?
Evan Ingram.
I was ready to let him go. Fine. Who knew it was Daniel Jones'
Had a Pro
problem?
Bowl tight end season.
He only became 2 Pro Bowl tight ends in Jacksonville season. But we don't like to bring up Evan Ingram.
Was it
All
just
right, so-
pressure getting to him? I mean, yeah, there's DJ, but it just wasn't working out too. I mean,
Well, yeah, you also had Daniel Jones.
yeah, that's true.
I have another question. T-Brad, with the current offensive line, which is the same exact offensive line from last season, which was ineffective, just being factual, Russell Wilson looks done. Jameis Winston has never met an interception that he didn't like. And we have a rookie and Tommy Cutlets. Where do we see this offense going?
I think we'll go from 31st to 30th. I think we can maybe move up one spot.
Can
to
we
get
go at
to-
least 15?
Hell no, not realistically.
Not realistic.
Not realistically, because we were talking about this earlier. We don't have an offensive identity. We don't have that thing where it's like, this is what we're going to do. You try to stop it. It's throw the ball to neighbors and pray. The running back, we don't, like you said, we don't have an offensive line, so we can't force the run on anybody. We don't have dynamic running backs, which is like what Tim was talking about earlier. We should have traded back in the first round, and we could have focused on getting a dynamic running back. So I just think this offense is just kind of like at a standstill, it seems, because we did nothing to really help the offense. That's why I'm excited to see the defense, Tim.
So
I switched back to defense then.
Well, here's the thing I've been hearing about the offense. Like, everyone loves that we got Russell Wilson. I'm like 50-50 on it. He is an upgrade over DJ, but the numbers people are predicting, especially when I hear 30 touchdowns, I can't imagine it. I can't imagine 30 touchdowns.
Wait, are you counting the number of touchdowns he throws and plus the number of touchdowns he throws for vis-a-vis interceptions back the other way? Because
yeah, that could be 30.
That might be 30.
I don't see it
I don't
coming.
see Russell. I don't see Russell Wilson at 36 going on 37, throwing 30 touchdown passes.
I can maybe see only 20, maybe max, but that's it. Like, I don't know how many touchdowns he's going to give us because again, it's our line play. I can't trust that. Besides Andrew Thomas staying healthy.
Logic, I'm going to drop you off, my brother, because I got to get out of here. But I do appreciate you coming on. I want to make sure we say goodbye to everyone. But Logic, you're always welcome to come on because you always bring the logic. And watch this. It's the finest.
Take care, gentlemen.
Hey.
And subscribe to Logic.
That's why the Believe Network wanted this. Okay? For shit like that. The puns. We've learned today some important things. The Giants defense may be the most interesting portion of the season. That Hawkeye is basically a pussy when he runs out of arrows.
Oh,
we don't know. You know, and like I said, I don't even know anything about Marvel. Is it Marvel? Yeah, it's not. He's not DC.
That's Marvel.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen. I stopped at Captain America: The First Avenger. That's where I've stopped watching Marvel movies.
I still haven't seen Superman. That's DC though, obviously.
That's DC. That's Batman. I'm a Batman.
No, there's a new Superman out. I haven't seen it. I'm interested in seeing
Everyone's saying that's good. I don't know about great, but it's good. Like,
well, my understanding is with Superman, and I don't get it, that Superman gets his ass kicked in this movie, like consistently. I don't know.
By who?
I don't know. That's everyone that I know that have gone and seen it saying that Superman gets his ass kicked in this entire film.
That's my problem with DC Comics. Like, the superhero with all these powers are like fighting like regular human beings. Like, Lex Luthor is just a very, very smart human being, but it shouldn't take a person with that much superpowers to just find him and kill him.
Okay, if Superman's getting his ass beat, someone has either kryptonite or it's either General Zod or somebody. I don't know who would kick his ass besides that, or Darkseid.
Hawkeye.
Okay, Hawkeye from MASH.
Did you say Hawkeye? Oh my gosh! He said MASH. Wow, brother! Wow, that is a beautiful throwback.
I watched
That's right.
MASH. Okay,
That
I
was
love
good.
that show.
That was good. All right, I got a
I
question.
turned to
I have,
TV.
I have a slider question for Mash. Henry Blake's death. Cry or not?
Cry, dude. Like he was
Let's see.
cool. I was
Oh,
shocked.
we gotta keep going on. Sorry.
But I mean, but I do like the guy who played General Potter. I mean, because he was from Dragnet. I remember that.
That was Harry Morgan,
Yeah, he was awesome.
and that was Colonel Potter. I'm glad that.
Oh, did I say General? My bad.
I'm glad that you promoted him,
Yes.
because one person that wants to get promoted is Hawkeye to not use the stupid arrows anymore. I have to.
Yeah.
I am going to have to look up and see what Hawkeye's other powers are.
I
He
have
has no
literally.
powers. It's his arrows. That's it. Like, Scarlett Johansson's character, right? Black Widow, no powers, but she's like hand to hand, guns. That's it. There's no powers in
How
them.
does that make you a superhero?
So they're like, so basically what these people are like superpowered John Wicks.
Yeah, I guess you can say that.
Well,
But
because
that
Captain America's he's genetically enhanced, right?
Right.
pretty much what you call steroids.
Yeah,
Pretty
he
much
does,
what you call steroids.
the serum thing, and then he makes them, and it enhances his all of your good qualities when he took the drugs. I remember that from the first movie.
What's more American than taking drugs to be powerful?
Yep.
Listen, having a guy come from outer space and be our hero and Superman, that's more American. Right? So I'm just saying,
It's the American way, dude.
American. No, he doesn't. I don't want to break. I don't want to.
Oh no,
he doesn't
Truth,
say that in this
justice.
movie. No, he doesn't do that in this
No.
movie. No, I
In
asked
the
that
old one
question.
he does.
No, it doesn't in all of them, except for I asked that question. He does not. I'm not going to ruin it for you because you haven't seen it. But no truth, justice in the American way. No,
But that was which Superman was that? Was that the
That's
show?
all.
That's all of them. Yeah, Truth,
it goes
justice.
back to the cartoon, the initial Superman cartoon.
Yes, that is true.
Because when he was battling the Nazis in the 50s, it was always in the 40s. It was truth, justice, in the American way. But no, they don't have that in Superman. I'm not going to ruin
What a
it.
better way to indoctrinate your mind into let's join America's better than everybody movement than to put superheroes out there.
That's right.
Get the kids young.
We're not talking about that. But we've learned a lot today. We evidently lost James. I think he might have got arrested.
His train came in.
I think James's train showed up. I want to thank everyone for hanging out as long as they did. We're only at 47 likes. That's just disgusting.
Can you get 3 more for 50? Come
48.
on.
No, we're at 48. We're at 48.
Now 48.
I want to thank Mark B, the new subscriber, who just came on and subscribed and liked. Dan the Man says the movie MASH is like a top 5 most overrated movie of all time.
I prefer the show.
I didn't know there was one.
There was with Elliot Gould and Donald Sutherland back in the 60s.
And Robert Duvall was in it. Robert
Duvall was in it as Frank Burns.
Yes.
And then there was a professional. They played a football game, and I can't remember the guy that was the professional football player that was actually in the game. That he was former. He went
Reno Hightower.
It wasn't Bubba Smith. No, Bubba Smith.
Reno Hightower. It was Reno Hightower. Reno Hightower.
Oh, there it is.
Been a professional. He should have, but I can't remember the. I can't remember the football player in MASH. I have to look it up now. Now I have to look it up now. Everyone just stand still a second. Football. Player. MASH.
We're not allowed to move around.
Oh,
hell?
just everyone, just be quiet while I'm looking this up.
Yeah, I discovered that movie after I watched MASH, the TV show, and I didn't know the theme music was a actual lyrical thing to MASH. And when I heard it, I was
there's
like,
words.
oh, crap.
Hey, anytime my TV turned on and I heard, it was time for me to turn.
I'm bolting to watch it.
It was
it was time for me to turn.
Fred Williamson was in the movie.
Okay.
Movie. And those that do not know, there is words to the MASH song. There really is. There's a whole thing. It starts, Hawkeye was a pussy. He ran out of arrows. Now the show is over because he's dead. Sorry, not people.
But he's never ran out of arrows. So
you never.
Yes, he did. He did.
When did he ever run out of arrows?
Oh wait, no, he didn't. Only in that one movie where he used his last arrow and got the demigod guy, or whatever. So I guess you could say he never did run out of arrows.
There we go.
There we go. See.
Winning is winning.
Winning is winning.
Because I know I've seen Adam West get his utility belt taken 1,000,000 times and put on a
And he still
conveyor
kicks
belt.
butt.
Yeah, and then tune in next time.
Same bat
I'm like-
same bat time, same bat
I'm
channel.
like, why don't they just kill Batman? Nope, we got to make it interesting.
Listen, thank you, Moet. Great content. Tim, everyone enjoy the rest of your Saturday, Sunday. Listen, if you haven't seen the original 60s Batman movie, that's a treat. That is a treat because there's 2 scenes in that movie that are Oscar winning scenes. He's running around with this bomb, and it's a giant bomb over his head. And every time he tries to throw it, there's orphans. Then he runs the building. Then there's
I remember that one.
He runs ready to throw it into a lake, and there's these baby ducklings. He looks around, spins at the camera, and says, "Just some days you just can't get rid of a bomb." And I was like, okay. And then there was the shark scene. I don't want to ruin it for anyone, but go watch the original Batman movie. And there's a scene with a shark in that movie that is just it's cinematic history. Just throwing that out there. It'll change your whole opinion of Batman.
Watch the 60s Spider-Man cartoon. Best opening ever. That song hit. I was like, it's time to get in front of the TV now.
Catch your thieves just like flies. Look out!
Oh yeah,
Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
Is he strong? Listen, bud. He's got a radioactive blood. Can he swing?
You see him pick up that punch buggy?
I love that show. That was one of my favorite shows. The Bat Dance.
Oh my God!
It's the Bat Tusi.
The Batman dance, yeah, that was wild too, yeah.
Now the Bat Dance, of course, is from Prince in the second Batman, but in the Batman original movie, it's the Bat Tusi.
So you're talking about dance, right? Do you remember? Everyone talks about the Thriller dance with Michael Jackson, but I thought it originally came from Scooby Doo.
What dance? I didn't know Scooby Doo the dance.
You remember they moved their arms up and down, like to the left, to the right, whatever, in the Thriller music video.
Yeah,
they were doing that in Scooby Doo before Thriller ever came out.
I'm gonna have to dive into this conspiracy theory.
I'm serious. Like the monsters or whatever, the villains, like in the music of Scooby Doo, they were doing the Thriller thing.
I think we finally hit our 50 likes, so people will just tell us to leave.
There we go.
We were like, for the love of God, just leave. Here's 50 fucking likes. Just go.
When by any means necessary.
I want to thank everyone for coming on. We're going to be at training camp on Wednesday. Might stream from the parking lot. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I'm tired. And we'll see how training camp goes.
I'll look for it, and then I'll post it on Tim's website or something. There's the Scooby-Doo dance of the Thriller.
Yeah, just send it to or put it on Twitter or something.
Yeah,
so I want to see the Scooby-Doo dance. Slider, I want to thank you for coming on as always. I'm gonna drop you off. I'm gonna say so long to T-Brad as well. But Slider, I'm gonna drop you off. Have yourself a good weekend.
Thanks, man.
Enjoy your rest of your day.
Take care, brother.
It is that time. It's that time because we are way late. We're way late and 2 hours and 38 minutes short. But I do want to thank you for coming. I feel like I haven't seen you forever.
Thanks, brother. It's good to be here. Yeah, I've been gone for a minute, man. I've been like my Sunday's been like super busy, super packed, a lot of things happening. But I was like, oh yeah, I can get on here today.
Well, good. I'm glad you could. I'm glad you could jump in and stop on by. For everyone, we'll have a couple new videos out coming up soon, so make sure you stay tuned for that. So for Tim and the T-Brad, the new show, we are out of here, guys. I said the outro. Hold on, I got to do the fucking outro. It's the professionalism.
Make sure you plug in your other thing, the one where you're talking any kind of sports. Make sure you plug that.
Well, let me plug. Well, thank you, T-Brad.
I got you, brother. I got you.
We have to plug the new show, which is going to start in a day or two. It's called Balls, Bats, and Bad Decisions, unscripted, unqualified, unapologetic, talking all sports. You can catch it everywhere that you see YouTube. You have YouTube or any place that podcasts are found. Probably is going to be on the Blue Network as well. And of course, I also do that wonderful show, New York Giants Generations, with Ryan from Ryan's Big Blue Podcast, because every generation bleeds Big Blue. We talk everything different from different generation perspectives. And of course, you can find New York Giants Straight Talk on the Believe Network, everywhere that podcasts are found. And we're counting down the days. Carl Banks will be here in August.
I'm liking it.
So appreciate it, guys. For me, T, don't go anywhere yet. For me, for T, for everyone else, we are out of here.